example of knives being taken out onto the streets with catastrophic results. And hopefully this result today will help send another clear message to those young people who take to the streets with knives that you're not untouchable, and the police will catch you and you will face extremely lengthy sentencings as a result of your actions.
On the eve of the Scottish referendum, both sides have embarked on their last day of campaigning. Several new opinion polls suggest that, excluding undecideds, the no side has a narrow lead. The BBC's political correspondent John Pienaar says it's neck and neck.
We're seeing the party armies on the ground knocking on the doors, getting ready for the big push to identify their vote and motivate it and get it ready to come out and make the trek down to the polling stations and vote. And from what we've seen tonight from the latest opinion polls, it looks still like being a very close fight.
Police in Aylesbury have referred their handling of an unexplained death to the Independent Police Complaints Commission. It follows an incident in the early hours of Saturday when a 44-year-old woman died at a residential property in the town. The death is being treated as unexplained but is not believed to be suspicious. New research suggests more needs to be done to ensure academy schools are spending public money appropriately. The report commissioned by the Education Select Committee says questionable practices are being accepted. The government says academies are already subject to strict oversight. In sport, Watford are back up to second in the Championship.
Here's Dyer inside the box, it's fouled, and Watford have a penalty. Here comes Fisher, right-footed, into the corner! He applauds the Watford fans who sing his name. It's Blackpool 0, Watford 1.
Elsewhere, Milton Keynes Dons lost 2-1 at home to Bradford. Luton drew 0-0 at York. Wickham won 1-0 at Plymouth. And Stevenage lost 2-1 at Bury. In the Champions League, Liverpool beat Ludogorets 2-1, but Arsenal lost 2-0 in Dortmund. The weather, any early mist clearing to leave another warm and sunny day, a maximum temperature 23 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/Three Counties.
Today on BBC Three Counties Radio.
From 9.
The JVS Show.
With me, David Prever, where you can join in the big phone-in and have your consumer problems tackled. From 12.
Nick Coffer.
Dust off your vinyl and get it valued by the man who owns 250,000 records, Andy Chesham.
From 3.
Roberto Peroni.
The best stories as they happen every single afternoon and the greatest talking points.
From 7.
Mark Forrest.
I'll bring you the best bits from everything that's been happening on BBC Local Radio.
Today on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. I don't shut my Peter Pointer finger in a car door. It not hurt, but I'm being very brave about it. Flipping hurts. Catherine Boyle, I shut my finger in a car door.
Yeah, I know.
Kelly Betts, I shut my finger in a car door.
Oh, did you, mate?
Yeah, today's phone-in. Ever shut your finger in a car door? 08459 455 555. I think we're going to get some great stories on that this morning.
My mum shut my finger in a car door.
Did she really?
Yeah.
It's not the phone-in.
It was a baby finger, so I was a baby. They were bending.
I'm going to have to stop you there, Catherine. It's not the phone-in is, have you ever shut your finger in a car door? Kelly Betts.
Yes, I have.
08459 455 555.
I've had my coat, dangling out of the car door.
Again, no, that's the phone-in is. Have you ever shut your finger in a car door? Don't be a loser. Don't be Lonely Alice like Catherine is.
I've shut a car door.
OK, that's not really... Other stuff that's coming up on the show. Labour sweets, violent streets, and dealing with the deets. That means details.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, I can't think... There's the only thing... Sorry?
Yes.
Gosh, it sounds like JVS's consumer team have come in. Have you noticed that phone rings the same time and for the same length every time? Anyway, I don't think we're allowed to do that on the BBC anymore. Anyway, I don't think there's anything... The only thing more painful than shutting your finger in a car door, bashing your knee on a coffee table.
Ooh.
Those are the two...
Or shin.
No.
The shin bone.
The shin bone's connected to the eye bone.
No.
I failed at doctorship. No, those are the two most painful things in the world. Even more painful than, I'm going to say it, a swift knee to the ghoulies.
Ooh.
And that's painful. But that's a different kind of pain. That's more of a spiritual pain. That's like an ennui. Or rather, not ennui, the case may be. I'm like Oscar Wilde in so many ways, not that many ways. 08459 455 555. Well done, Kells.
Well, I got a woman.
I mean, Catherine.
Thank you.
Any luck with Tony Bennett?
No, I got it.
Way over town, that's good to me. Oh, yeah. Say, I got a woman way over town, good to me. Oh, yeah. She give me money when I'm in need. Yeah, she's a kind of friend indeed. I got a woman way over town, that's good to me. Oh, yeah. She says a loving early in the morning just for me. Oh, yeah. She says a loving early in the morning just for me. Oh, yeah. She says a loving just for me. Yeah, she loves me so tenderly. I got a woman way over town that's good to me. Oh, yeah. She's there to love me both day and night. Never grumbles or fusses, always treats me right. Never running in the streets and leaving me alone. She knows a woman's place is right there now in her home. I got a woman way over town that's good to me. Oh, yeah. Say, I got a woman way over town that's good to me. Oh, yeah. Oh, she's my baby. Don't you understand? Yeah, I'm a lover man. I got a woman way over town that's good to me. Oh, yeah. Don't you know she's all right? Don't you know she's all right? She's all right, she's all right. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Now, the NHS needs to do more for parents whose pregnancies don't go according to plan. That's according to the Hertfordshire-based National Maternity Support Foundation, which says too many hospitals don't know how to deal with miscarriages and stillbirths sensitively. Well, Catherine Boyle joins me now. What's prompted this charity's comments, Catherine?
Well, we approached them. We approached the National Maternity Support Foundation after hearing about a Milton Keynes mum called Leanne Duggan. Now, Leanne went for a checkup towards the end of her pregnancy this February and was told her baby passed away in the womb. Now, in these cases, it's quite usual for the mother's labour to be induced, so she was taken down to the labour ward like any other woman, and there she gave birth to her son, Harris. Now, she says that the staff at Milton Keynes Hospital were fantastic, and she couldn't fault them for the amount of help they gave to her. But her abiding memory of that time was being able to hear the sound of other people delivering healthy babies all around her. Now, she's channeling her grief, and it's all still very fresh. You're going to be speaking to her in about an hour's time. But she says that she's channeling that into making sure no one else has to deal with that in future by having a soundproof room built for parents so they can say goodbye to their children. She's about £700 off her target of £3,000. So it looks like this is going to happen at Milton Keynes. But what Andrew Cantor, who's the founder of the National Maternity Support Foundation, is saying is that these rooms should be standard.
I think it's absolutely fantastic what Leanne is doing. But I think the real point and the real issue is that I think it's really incumbent upon the trust, the NHS, to fund these what I call necessary facilities, because, you know, unfortunately, yes, it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it is such a huge impact.
How has Leanne's experience affected her?
Well, it's all still very fresh, and she talks about what happened with great dignity, as you'll hear, but she clearly feels that the limited time she had to say goodbye to Harris was marked by this feeling of not being able to stay. She couldn't physically stay where she was left with him because of the sound that she could hear. It was just too much. And she says that staff at Milton Keynes were fantastic from start to finish, but there is an emphasis on physical rather than psychological care. Andrew Cantor from the National Maternity Support Foundation would agree with that. He's experienced something very similar when he and his wife Rachel lost their baby Jake. Just like Leanne, their experience made them want to change things.
We were in a hospital environment that had no, what they now call, I think, a home-from-home room or a quiet area you could go. I mean, the worst thing that can happen is if, you hear babies crying and you hear mothers in labour, it has a huge psychological effect. Yes, I mean, I genuinely believe that every maternity unit should have an area like this, and there should be a national strategy that puts this in place. But unfortunately, we don't have that.
Milton Keynes Hospital, what are they saying?
Well, nothing really. We did approach them, but they couldn't give us a statement or put someone up. No word from the hospital itself. But the money Leanne is raising will go to the Milton Keynes Hospital charity, and their fundraising manager, Vanessa Holmes, gave us a statement telling us that fundraising helps us to go over and above for our patients at Milton Keynes Hospital. Leanne really is an inspiration, and we're grateful for her support of Milton Keynes Hospital charity. It'll make a huge difference to those parents who need to use our butterfly suite. To donate to Leanne's cause, just go to www.justgiving.com/babieswithwingsmk. You can also text HUGS04 to 770, and you'll be donating £4 to the cause by doing that.
Catherine, thank you very much.
Words are flowing out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither wildly as they slip away across the universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my opened mind, possessing and caressing me. Change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Images of broken light which dance before me like a million eyes. They call me on and on across the universe. Floats me under like a restless wind inside a letterbox. They tumble blindly as they make their way across the universe. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Sounds of laughter, shades of life are ringing through my open ears, inciting
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well, so far this morning, checking on the speed sensors across the 3 counties seems to be moving rather well on the major routes. The M1 and the M25 are both moving well, not seeing any major problems or delays. Do expect some delays on the Great North Road at the Black Cat roundabout as those major roadworks continue there. On the trains at the moment, service via Seven Sisters on Greater Anglia is suspended at the moment between Enfield Town and Liverpool Street, also between Cheshunt and Liverpool Street. That's due to an operating incident at the moment. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Nicola?
Yeah?
Can I ask you an intimate question?
Oh, blimey, yeah.
Have you ever shut your finger in a car door?
Oh, yes.
Hey, you're part of the gang! Tell us the story behind it, Nicola. It sounds great.
Well, I just caught it in there when I was trying to drop a friend off. It was agony.
Yeah, doesn't it
For
hurt?
days.
It's it's an agony that I share with you, that Kelly Betts shares with you. Catherine Boyle has never felt that agony.
No, I keep controlling my digits.
Thank you very much, Nicola. I'm glad you're part of our We've Trapped Our Own Finger in a Car Door Club. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much indeed. And if you, dear listener, have trapped your finger in a car door, not somebody else's, or had yours trapped by someone else, give us a call. 08459 455 555. 6:17, it's Wednesday the 17th of September. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A Hertfordshire couple say the NHS needs to do more for parents of stillborn children. They're backing a Milton Keynes mother who's raising money for a soundproof room at the new city's hospital. Police in Bedford say the life sentences handed down to 4 young men for murdering teenager Isaac Stone are a stark reminder of the dangers of carrying knives. And in sport last night, some great football matches. Watford and Wickham, they won. Luton only drew, and defeats for Milton Keynes Dons and Stevenage again. Those are in football.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The thing is, the justice system is so often skewed in favour of the criminal and not the victim. I wonder what Roberto thinks.
Every weekday from 3, Roberto Perroni.
Are league tables the best way to judge a school? Panel, do you have any sympathy for the Buckinghamshire golfer Iain Poulter? Police are issuing safety advice to women in Watford, but I'm fascinated by the age gap between her and her husband. Figures show that around £500,000 was spent in Hertfordshire last year clearing up after people who dump rubbish. Then you just ate them.
Roberto Perroni.
There's been an extraordinary reaction on social media. My big concern is that no one ever worries about the victims. The whole system is designed to help the criminal.
Roberto Perroni. Weekdays from 3, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, it says here, if you hear a whisper, celeb edition.
If you hear a whisper, give us a shout.
How did he get that? I've just worked out who that is. How did he...
Warren Thompson, isn't it?
Hang on a second. Have I got that? Hang on a second.
If you hear a whisper, give us a shout.
How on earth did he get that? Is that...
Yeah.
Is that Peter Andre?
Yeah.
How the flip it? Because Dealey was dancing around the office yesterday, like a big, like Justin Dealey managing to get hold of Peter Andre. Now it makes sense. And he says, I've got a celeb for this. You're going to love it. What?
If you hear a whisper, give us a shout.
Now, is he actually recorded Peter Andre saying that, or has he cleverly spliced all of the syllables?
You got him to say it.
Wow.
I think he said he was doing it for kids or something. You know how feeling and sensitive Peter Andre is.
Listen, I'm doing this thing for sick kids, Peter. Would you be able to...
If you hear a whisper, give us a shout.
Wow.
I remember when I was a lad, times were hard and things were bad. But there's a silver lining behind every cloud. Just poor people, that's all we were, trying to make a living out of blackland dirt. But we'd get together in a family circle, singing loud. Daddy sang bass,
Mama sang tenor, me and little brother would join right in there.
Singing seems to help a troubled soul. One of these days, and it won't be long, I'll rejoin them in a song. I'm gonna join the family circle at the throne. No, the circle won't be broken. By and by, Lord, by and by. Daddy sing bass,
Mama sang tenor,
I remember after work, Mama would call in all of us. You could hear us singing for a country mile. Now little brother has done gone on, but I'll rejoin him in a song. We'll be together again up yonder in a little while. Daddy'll sing bass,
Mama sing tenor. Me and little brother will join right in there.
'cause singing seems to help a troubled soul. One of these days, and it won't be long, I'll rejoin them in a song. I'm gonna join the family circle at the throne. Oh no, the circle won't be broken. By and by, Lord, by and by. Daddy'll sing bass,
Mama sing tenor. Me and little brother will join right in there.
in the sky, Lord, in the sky. In the sky, Lord,
Come on, Hearts. Come on.
the sky.
I am declaring war on Hearts. So far, Ray Charles, I Got a Woman, the Beatles Across the Universe, and Johnny Cash, Daddy Sang Bass.
Yeah, but I've just put Natalie Imbruglia in just for the youngsters.
Hey, if you do like Ian's choice of music, if you go on the website every day, you can see all the songs that he's played.
She's right. She does it herself out of her own free will.
You're welcome.
Heart, seriously, this is the challenge. What have you played? Candy by Robbie Williams, DJ Sammy. Yeah? Yeah? Guys? Seriously, Dealey, do you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. You're on top form this morning.
I am Let me just get my leather glove off. Hang on 1 second. Right, leather glove is off. Heart, come here. I'm slapping you in the face and challenging you to a music duel. Hey, by the way, Just.
Yeah.
If you hear a whisper, give us a shout.
Wow.
You're impressed, aren't you?
I am very impressed. Movers and indeed shakers, sir.
You called me a swear this morning. As you walked out of the office, you called me a swear.
I did, mate, yeah.
Yeah, because you didn't think I'll be living up to expectation. There you go. Peter Andre.
In many ways... in many ways you have, Justin. Stay there, be with you in a sec.
Thank you.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
We'll discuss that a little bit later, just but on to more serious things. 4 men have been jailed for the brutal murder of Isaac Stone in Bedford. The teenage rapper died in Costin Street in January after mocking his killers on YouTube. Justin, you've been looking into this. What happened at court yesterday?
Horrible, horrible story. 4 men, 22-year-old Mohammed Hussein, Rubel Mia, who's 19, his brother Javed Mia, 21, and 20-year-old Farim Khan. They were sentenced to a minimum total, Ian, of 107 years for the murder of Isaac Stone. Armed with knives and meat cleavers, they cornered Isaac. This was in Coslin Street in Bedford on the 25th of January. There, they punched and kicked him repeatedly. Mr. Stone, who was just 19 years old, he suffered 11 cut and stab wounds, dying from a wound that penetrated his lung. Now, all 4 men, they denied murder, attempted murder, and 2 counts of possession of an offensive weapon, but they were found guilty of murdering Isaac Stone. Rubel Mia and Farim Khan were also found guilty of causing grievous bodily harm with intent. That was to Isaac's friend, Sajid Rahman. People may have seen the pictures yesterday online. All 4 were convicted of 2 charges of possessing offensive weapons. Isaac Stone's mother, Yvette Lendor, described her son as a lovable, cheeky young man.
He was not an angel, but Isaac was my son. And Isaac wasn't a horrible person. He wasn't a vindictive person. A lot of people loved Isaac. He was always that lovable, cheeky young person that everybody would say to me, oh, when they see him, oh, I saw your Isaac, and he gave me a big hug, and it's so lovely.
Well, Justin, we mentioned something to do with a YouTube video. Is that the main reason that this attack took place?
Well, we believe so. Absolutely incredibly. It's thought the attack was a reaction to a music video called Go Missing, which had been posted on YouTube. Now, in this video, Isaac Stone and his friends, Sajid Rahman, that they sprayed alcohol over the name Raz that had been painted on a wall. and it's thought that this is what upset the four men.
Gosh.
So they hired a Range Rover for £150. They then bought meat cleavers for £2.99 each from a hardware shop, and then they went searching for Isaac. When they did come into contact, a street brawl then broke out in which Isaac was cornered behind a parked car and killed. His friend, Mr. Rahman, was left mutilated after being attacked by Rubel Mia and Farim Khan. His nose was actually amputated and he suffered 4 deep slashes to his head and his face.
Oh, isn't this thoroughly unpleasant? What sentences did they get?
Well, all 4 received life sentences. Hussein received a minimum term of 25 years. Javed Mia, 26 years, with Rubel Mia and Farim Khan getting 28 years. Judge Richard Foster called the attack a stark reminder of the dangers of young people carrying knives. And after the case yesterday, Detective Inspector Adam Gallop, who's from Beds and Herts Major Crime Unit, he said they want to send out a clear message to people who want to take part in knife fights.
It's another case, another example of knives being taken out onto the streets with catastrophic results. And hopefully this result today will help send another clear message to those young people who take to the streets with knives that you're not untouchable, and the police will catch you and you will face extremely lengthy sentencings as a result of your actions.
Justin, what led us up to this point?
Well, it's safe to say, Ian, that people living and working in around the Midland Road area, they feel the area's been going downhill for some time. I think the reputation can sometimes be far worse than the actual reality. But here's what people told our reporter Tony Fisher after the murder.
I'll tell you what, I've been stabbed 3 years ago, you know. My friend's been dying here on this road, yeah. 3 years ago, he been stabbed same to death, yeah.
On Midland Road?
Yeah, Midland Road, yeah. Few years ago, yeah. So this road, I don't know why, always is someone dying on this road. I don't know what's going on. You know, it's crazy, you know.
Anything that could be done about Midland Road?
More policing. There don't seem to be any police about anymore like there used to be. And I think that has a big effect on the area. I'm sure if there were police about, a lot of this wouldn't happen. But it's one of these areas, it's one of these places. It's always been suspect to sort of crimes and things like that, so...
Are you happy with your daughter living just off this road?
No. But it's just got worse. I'm terrified to walk anywhere, you know, when it gets dark. It frightens me sometimes, I must admit, walking down here.
I don't know, it's just the way this road is. It's always been like that. How can you change something that's always been the same?
Well, Justin, a particularly unpleasant story. Can we speak to you in about, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes on something a little bit lighter, please?
Absolutely, no problem at all.
Good, lad. Speak to you later on. Don't forget, Justin Dealey, the gentleman who got this.
If you hear a whisper, give us a shout.
Gosh.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
So far, taking a look at the M25, starting to build a little bit between junction 25 for Enfield and junction 27 for the M11, where those major roadworks are continuing there. Checking Park Street on the A414, building a bit around the Park Street roundabout. So far, the A1M, and that's moving rather well. On a Greater Anglia, though, we are seeing service suspended between Enfield Town and Liverpool Street and Cheshunt and Liverpool Street, and that's due to an operating incident that's happened there. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30. I'm Simon Oxley. A Hertfordshire couple who started a maternity support charity say the NHS needs to do more for parents of stillborn children. They're backing a Milton Keynes mother who's raising money for a soundproof room at the New Cities Hospital. Police in Bedford say the life sentences handed down to 4 young men for murdering teenager Isaac Stone are a stark reminder of the dangers of carrying knives. 19-year-old Isaac was stabbed to death in Costin Street in January. His killers will serve minimum jail terms of between 25 and 28 years. And on the eve of the Scottish referendum, both sides have embarked on their last day of campaigning. Several new opinion polls give the no side a narrow lead.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Watford are back up to second in the Championship after a second-half penalty from Matej Vidra gave them a 1-0 win at Blackpool. Here's assistant coach Ruben Martinez standing in for the ill Oscar Garcia.
We scored from penalty and they missed one in the last 10 minutes. And we want to give this victory for Oscar because we want can stay with us as soon as possible.
In League One, Milton Keynes Dons lost 2-1 at home to Bradford despite a rare goal from skipper Dean Lewington, with manager Carl Robinson sent to the stands in the second half.
Supposedly I've said something that is derogatory towards one of their players, but I didn't see it as too bad. But I think he's thinks I've said something else. But I have been told that I manhandled the assistant referee. I think you quite see I was quite away from him. But anyway, we'll just have to wait to see what the report says.
In League Two, Luton drew 0-0 at York. Here's manager John Still.
The movement of Guts and, I think the movement of Cully and getting sort of Drury coming off the line and joining in, and the bursts of Pelly and that, we're first class. I say all of the ingredients were right, but we've got to finish it off.
Wickham are up to third in League Two after a Paul Hayes goal gave Gareth Ainsworth's side a 1-0 win at Plymouth.
This will go a long way in adding to our points total, It's fantastic to see the set play going in, but the way we defended again, I thought we limited Plymouth. They had a couple of shots, but nothing major. I think we hit the post in the first half and set play's gone in, and we could have grabbed one in the second half on the break, so really pleasing.
And Stevenage lost 2-1 at Bury despite taking an early lead through Adam Marriott. Liverpool made a winning return to the Champions League as a stoppage-time penalty from Steven Gerrard gave them a 2-1 win over the Bulgarian side Ludo Goretz. Arsenal lost 2-0 away to Dortmund. Tonight, Manchester City are away to Bayern Munich. Chelsea host another German side, Schalke. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 7.
You were right, and I don't want to be here if you're gonna be there. Was that supposed to happen? I'll hold tight, I'll remember to smile, though it has been a while, and without you does it matter? There's no room, no place to start when our souls are apart. I wanna travel through time, see your surprise, hold you so tight. I'm counting down the days tonight. I just wanna be a million miles away from here. I'm counting down the days. Have you been? It's just the usual here, and days are feeling like years, and every day's without you. Now I cry just a little too much when I think of your touch and everything about you. I feel cold, I'm in the dark when our souls are apart. I wanna travel through time, see your surprise, hold you so tight. I'm counting down the days tonight. I just wanna be a million miles away from here. I wanna travel through time, see your surprise, hold you so tight. I'm counting down the days tonight. I just wanna be a million miles away from here. I'm counting down the days. I'm counting down the days.
She was counting down the days until she copped off with David Schwimmer again, wasn't she? They were an
Oh,
item.
yeah, and he was tall and she was tiny. And
No, she was torn.
tall,
Torn.
tiny.
Torn.
Yeah.
Okay. Where is
And
she
he was
now?
that dishy doctor out of Casualty, wasn't he, the one out torn?
I don't know.
And he wasn't torn because he's openly gay.
Gosh. Well.
Anyway, the
where-
90s, weren't they fun?
Where is she now?
I think she's doing quite well.
Good for her.
I think she's quite well off. I don't
She's
think
still
she used to
singing.
work.
Listen. She's still banging on. So the new U2 album is on my telephone.
Yeah, it's probably on mine.
Yeah. Well, new iTunes button just to delete U2 album. It's the most deleted album in the world ever.
It's kind of their own fault, isn't it?
Yeah, how smug of them. Apple has introduced a special button for iTunes customers simply so they can delete U2's latest album from their accounts. The move follows a backlash by users who are unhappy at being given a free copy of Songs of Innocence without asking for it. I was unhappy. I can believe it when I checked on my phone and U2 had snuck in there.
Does it take up a lot of room? I mean, why are you bothered? They're old men, make them happy.
It seems many were not impressed with thousands of protests on social media. That means Twitter and Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Some customers said they felt as though the album had been forced upon them by Apple. To make things worse, others complained they could not find an easy way to remove it from their iTunes libraries. I tell you, if you want to, I will. Let's. Oh crikey! I'll turn my phone on. A bit tricky when I've got a really badly damaged finger. If you want to phone up and delete your U2 album live on air, you'll be more than welcome to.
Okay.
08459.
What do we call that? U2 me neither. 08459 455 555. You all right?
U2 me neither. Yeah, U2 me neither. 08459 455 555. Have you got the U2 album on your phone, Kels?
Not on my phone.
You have?
No, I've removed my iCloud thing.
I haven't even got an iCloud thing. My phone doesn't even go on the internet. I think Bono must have just come into my house when I was asleep and slipped it in.
It's not on there when I search it or anything.
Well, it will be.
It'll be on a computer somewhere, lurking.
Yeah.
If I turn my iCloud, if I turn it on, then it might be there.
Turn it on, and then we can delete it.
Okay.
U2 me too neither. Was it?
U2 me neither.
U2 me neither.
What's my password?
Probably a swear word if I know you.
Yeah.
You're right.
Probably is. Probably is.
I like to have a word that cheers me up when I log in.
Right, I'm going to go into music. Here it is. This is the U2 album. Well, how do I delete it?
There should be a special button. U2 me neither.
It won't let me delete it.
What?
Oh, that is... Well, hang on a second. Where's the special button? It's the only album I've got on here. I don't really store music on my phone. I use it for making telephone calls. Crazy, huh? And texts. Well, I'm unable to delete it, so that's that feature done.
Thanks, Bono.
Yeah.
Thanks a bunch.
Bono. He's only tiny, isn't he?
Yeah.
5'2", I'm going to say.
He's wee.
It's massive.
Oh, yeah, he's huge.
What you got for us, Catherine?
This, Richard III lost helmet and was hacked to death.
Hey.
Injuries
Sounds
reveal
nasty.
Monarch suffered 11 blows. Now, I've been watching a lot of horrible histories recently, and I think we got Richard III wrong. Not only was he not the scoundrel he's painted to be, but also he's a decent singer. Richard III was surrounded by soldiers and hacked to death after losing his helmet in battle. Analysis of his remains suggests. Are they still messing about with those?
Never lose your helmet if you can avoid it.
Medical scanners were used to establish that the king suffered 11 injuries from enemy soldiers at Bosworth Field in 1485. He was only 32.
Well, that was old for those days.
I guess. After 2 blows to the back of his head, he died, one from a sword and the other from a medieval axe. That's going to do it.
They also suspect, because I've been doing my own research into this, I heard it on Radio 4, that they also suspect that they then were defiling the body after he died.
Well, wounds to his buttocks probably came as his bloody body was paraded around the battleground, they suggest. They stripped him naked,
They did a similar thing to, not Hussein, the other one, the other gentleman.
Or Gaddafi?
Yeah, they did the same to Gaddafi. You know what they did, don't you? Oh, I'll tell you off air. Thoroughly unpleasant.
Well, I know he wasn't very nice, but...
Yeah, I know, thoroughly unpleasant. Well, you know.
Anyway, sometimes I'll say, let's go for a coffee, and then always you'll say, I've forgotten my wallet.
Yeah.
In future, you'll just have a trendy wristband on.
Sorry?
There'll be no excuses.
What's this got to do with Richard III?
I'm changing the subject because we've started to go down a dark, dark, dark path.
That's what they did to him!
Oh. Wallets and purses could soon be redundant with the launch of a wristband that can make purchases.
Hey.
The BPay rubber band
BPay
contains a smart chip and rate. I'd be paying for all sorts.
Yeah, well...
And the way you wave your arms about, you've got to be careful.
Oh, I shut my finger in a car door. I don't know if I've mentioned that to anyone recently.
Yeah, flipping heck. You really are suffering this morning.
I'm being very brave about it.
Yeah, you don't mention it much. Anyway, it's going to contain a smart chip and radio antenna that triggers a payment when swiped over a bus's card reader or a train station security barrier. The same technology can pay for a cup of coffee or a sandwich, or I imagine any other sort of purchase.
You just pay for stuff.
Yeah.
I still don't trust the not scratch and sniff. Where you get your card and you put it on the reader.
Contactless payments. I've got a new card that's got that, and I've never used it.
I don't understand. And I go into some shops. You go to do it, and they say, "Oh no, we don't. It doesn't work." Oh, okay. And then I don't trust the technology.
Do you have to put a pin in? No.
No, that's the point of it. It's contactless.
Couldn't it just be going off in your bag then?
But you do make contact.
Yeah, but your finger doesn't make contact with a button.
Yes, and that's the great problem of my life. Now, as you know, I'm not a fan of estate agents.
No.
And here's why. This isn't the only reason, actually, and this is, I'm sure, quite rare. But it was in easy location with easy access and no other takers. So when this estate agent saw the tempting Galaxy chocolate bar during a property viewing, he decided to move in and take immediate possession. Very clever, Paul Bentley, the writer here. The 25-year-old, identified only as George, was spotted on camera last week stealing the treat as he showed prospective tenants around a flat. He makes sure the clients are out of sight before grabbing the chocolate bar and slipping it into a pocket in his purple suit.
George.
The theft was caught on a covert security camera installed in the property by its current owner. After seeing the agent steal the chocolate, which had been bought for him by his wife as a birthday present...
Hang on.
Come on, love. He called the police. So it's a little chocolate Galaxy bar. It's a great pictures. Look, he sees it and he kind of swaggers over like Jack the Lad and puts it in his pocket. This fella called his wife bought him a Galaxy. It's not even a big Galaxy. It's like a normal one for 65p.
Yeah.
For a birthday present. And then he calls the
moving house is
police.
expensive, isn't it? Moving its house is expensive.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing, said Mr. Charter. I know it's only chocolate, but it's the principle. It's the fact he did it in my flat. The cheek, it's outrageous. Estate agents do far worse.
Yeah, one walked mud through mine on new carpets.
Sometimes two estate agents...
No.
Yeah, they do.
Wow. Well, listen, would you have called the police? I would have called his boss and made sure that he was mercilessly ribbed about it.
Mr. Charter has lived in the flat in Walthamstow, East London, for 10 years.
Oh, what?
Well, listen to the... OK. See if you can guess what I'm laughing at. Mr. Charter has lived in the flat in Walthamstow, East London, for 10 years, but has given notice because he's buying a home in Essex for him and his wife of 1 year, Sissy Wang. Mr. Charter called the police and started a campaign on Facebook to shame the man and demand an apology.
Or a family-sized bar.
Anyway, this gets better and better. George said he tried to apologise with a bottle of wine and flowers, but Mr. Charter would not listen. George's excuse? I suffer from fainting and dizziness. I've fainted 10 or 15 times, and I'm only 25.
Hang on.
He needed the chocolate to stop him fainting.
All right.
Yeah. Luckily,
It's a well-known cure.
Listen, if Sissy Wang bought her husband a chocolate bar for his birthday, then for goodness sakes, then he should be allowed to eat it.
Respect that.
Respect the Wang.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting to build up a little bit on the M1 at Luton Spur between junction 10A for the Kidneywood roundabout and junction 10 for Luton Airport. The M25 heading anti-clockwise, starting to look quite heavy between junction 21 the M1 and junction 20 for Kings Langley. Also building up anti-clockwise between junction 17 at Maple Cross and junction 16 for the M40. On Greater Anglia, service at the moment is suspended between Enfield Town and Liverpool Street and Cheshunt and Liverpool Street, and that's due to an operating incident there. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thanks very much. 6:45. It's Wednesday, the 17th of September. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A Hertfordshire couple who started a maternity support charity say the NHS need to do more for parents of stillborn children. Police in Bedford say the life sentences handed down to 4 young men for murdering teenager Isaac Stone are a stark reminder of the dangers of carrying knives. And in sport, there were wins last night for Watford and Wickham, a draw for Luton, and defeats for MK Dons and Stevenage. Here's Kate with the weather.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. It's another rather cloudy and dull start to the day, but it's not all doom and gloom, although it's quite murky at the moment. The sun is already starting to melt the cloud away. Not quite at us yet. By the afternoon, though, we should get some lovely, warm, sunny spells, and it could get up to around 22 Celsius in the sunshine later. Overnight tonight is a repeat performance. The wind falls a little lighter. There's a bit more of a breeze today, but the wind falls lighter, and overnight we'll see that cloud moving in again from the east. We could see a bit of mist and fog, perhaps more so than we did last night. Minimum temperature 14 Celsius, and tomorrow it's a similar start, but a mist, a bit of murk, but then it will start to brighten up. We'll get some long spells of sunshine really from the mid-morning, so slightly quicker in the clearance tomorrow morning, but again temperatures likely to get up to around 22 Celsius. That's 72 degrees in Fahrenheit, and that's your forecast.
Greg Rutherford, Tim Henman, Diego Maradona. Those are the famous sporting heroes, but what about the ones we don't know about?
There were golds galore in Glasgow.
Commonwealth Games as a whole was an amazing experience, and to bring back the amount of medals that we did was amazing.
Well, what a performance! But once again, we also want to celebrate our unsung sporting heroes this year.
She's an amazing coach who really inspires us.
So who will you nominate?
She understands how we feel and everything.
We're looking for someone who's made their contribution for no reward, but had the enjoyment of seeing sport flourish in our local communities. To make your nomination, go to bbc.co.uk/unsung-hero and download a form. The closing date is the 20th of October, with our 2014 Unsung Hero announced at this year's BBC Sports Personality of the Year.
You can't bottle it.
Get inspired and get nominating.
That finger of yours is really throbbing, isn't it?
It is smart. All my dreams last night were about having a throbbing finger.
Wow.
Great name for a band, by the way, guys.
You can have that.
Yeah, it's a gift from us. It's the BBC. It's yours.
You know, I had a granddad once, Grandad Joe.
Oh, you know, this is an incredible story.
And he was, well...
bonkers?
I would say that the way he dealt with this wasn't probably the way that... the NHS Direct would advise.
He injured his finger. What did he do?
He finger trapped like you did.
Yeah.
His fingernail went black. And he decided that he would deal with this himself. Rather than taking himself off to a medical professional, he drilled his fingernail and let the blood out. Right, because he was proper hard.
Can I just say to Kelly, Roger Miller, please.
Roger Miller.
He drilled Why did he drill it? To release the pressure?
It was hurting.
It was like finger trepanning.
He didn't have time to mess about, so he drilled through his fingernail to release the pressure.
Right, OK. Get Dealey on. I've got our phone in. When have you ever treated yourself?
Yeah.
When have
Treat it yourself.
Treat it yourself, dear listener. 08459. That's better than you two, me too, no.
Well, you two, me neither. Everyone's just gone, nah.
Yeah. 08459 455 555. Because young people won't know this. It was de rigueur to remove painful teeth by tying a little bit of string around it. String around the other door handle and slamming the door shut.
Come on, that's not true though, really, is it?
I think my mum may have done it.
Well, everyone's mum reckons they've done it, but I don't really know whether they really did it.
I think my mum... You call my mum a liar? She's in a wheelchair. What kind of sick deviant are you? You'd say to a disabled woman's a liar.
I'm just saying, show me the Ev.
I'll show you her gappy mouth. When have you ever treated yourself, please?
Verrucas people do, don't they?
What?
Well, apparently, you can buy all these different things on the market.
Don't work.
If you get a bit of gaffer tape...
Yeah.
And bind your foot.
Yeah.
Apparently that works like a treat.
It suffocates it, the oxygen is removed, and then it sticks to it and it peels off.
Yeah, so self-treatment.
Self-treatment, dear listener, 08459 455 555. How are we doing, Kels?
Yes, in.
Oh, yes, so it is.
Dear heart, wish you were here.
What?
To warm
This is the request of someone who's been up all night.
This is why I don't do requests. Someone requested it on Twitter, and I thought, oh, it'll be nice. We'll have this.
Seems like
oh, come on.
fair play. I think it may be 1-1 to me and Heart FM now. They may have just managed to claw one back. Whatever they're playing is 100 times better than this. Shall we have something a little bit more... Here we go. This is better. Let's get Dealey up, please. This is a song. This is a song, Dealey.
Oh, what a track. XTC, fabulous group. Unfortunately, they were beaten the other week in our listener vote.
Yeah, I know. That's why I've stopped listening to your radio programme on Saturdays.
Oh, right, OK.
Yeah, I listen when the football's on.
Yeah?
When you're on, I'm not so keen. Turns out it's rigged.
Behave yourself.
You rig it.
No.
Have I got to play this again?
If you hear a whisper, give us a shout.
Beautiful, isn't it?
How did you get Peter on? Did you phone him up or something?
Well, you know me, because I present a top-notch music programme.
Oh, yeah? Where's that?
Yeah, Saturdays, 12 until 2, but not this weekend because Watford are playing.
No.
But normally 12 until 2. I've got some decent contacts in the music business. We mentioned Peter Andre, 2 weeks ago? He, of course, wrote Mysterious Girl in Princess Risborough in Bucks. And I do believe that you were having a kind of conversation towards the end of the yesterday's show about Peter Andre as well.
Yeah, I don't know what he's for.
Yeah, so I kind of gave Pete a call and said, Pete, can you come on? Have a quick chat about some of your music taste for my programme.
Yeah.
Whilst we were there, we got talking about If You Hear a Whisper. And he said, do you know what? Hand on heart here. He said, do you know what?
And he's a very sincere man.
He is. He said, it makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I went, well, what do you mean? He said, well, if you hear something happening where you live, to give you guys a call. And I said, exactly.
He's got it.
So he said, do you know what? On this occasion, I would do it for you because I believe in your brand here.
Yeah, yeah. Catherine's still doubting.
No. Peter Andre says yes.
Yeah, Peter Andre says yeah. He say yes.
His musical taste, I'm guessing Michael Jackson?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The man from the 90s, he say yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, Dealey.
Yes.
Have you ever trapped your finger in a car door?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Oh, mate, tell me the story.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think I was getting some petrol at the time, got back into the car.
Maybe
had
a few growlers.
Yeah, had a few growlers on me. Had to get back in the car. Obviously, don't smoke in a petrol station, guys. That is the wrong thing to do. Got back in the car, and yeah, just quite simply shut my finger in the car, and it hurt.
Yeah, I've done it. Kelly, you've done it, haven't you? You've shut your own finger in a car door. If you have, dear listener, 08459 455 555. Catherine's had, well, she's had someone else shut her finger in a car door, so you're not in our gang. It's a different kind of pain.
Yeah.
So, sorry about that. Well, we were wondering, I don't know if you heard that Catherine's... What did your granddad do?
He trapped his finger in a machine. He was an engineer. He trapped his finger in a machine and it went black. He didn't have time to mess about, so he drilled through his fingernail.
Wow.
Tough guy.
Yeah.
Like Rambo, a Salford Rambo.
Yeah, you can keep your Bruce Willises and your Benedict Cumberbatches. He's a proper tough guy.
Yeah.
Well, funny you should say that. I heard you mention this about 5 minutes ago, and I'm in St Albans this morning. Somebody just walked past the car, and I said, have you ever treated yourself? He went, all the time. I said, what do you mean all the time? He said, I would never go to hospital unless it was that serious. I said, what? I said, can you talk to me? No, I've got to go. I need to run. He was on a run. Can you believe that?
There's another to forget Liam Neeson. Yeah. Forget your George Peppards. That fella.
Unbelievable.
St Albans, we have to clarify, by the way, St Albans is not the home of the big tour.
No.
Well, could you find people who've treated themselves, Just?
Yeah, on one condition.
Yes, boss.
That you play my new jingle.
I haven't. Well, no, I don't see your new jingle.
It should say JD Streets. It should be in your running order.
Mate, I think there's been a little bit of sabotage going on. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, there's been a little bit.
It was put in there. JD Streets Jing.
No, mate. I think someone has.
Do you want me to find it?
Yeah, go on.
I don't understand what's going on here.
You got the wrong mouse, love.
No. I said to you this morning, boss.
Yes, mate.
I said, I'm refusing to work for you
know.
today unless you play my jingle.
Okay. Well, the jingle is not in
I've got it if you want it.
Thank you.
You got it?
Right, put it in then.
There it is.
You just have to press stop.
Hang on, we got it. Okay. Oh, blimey. I think we're going to
press
get...
stop.
You got double.
Here we go.
Taking it to the streets with J-Dog.
What do you reckon about that? Cheers, Pete.
Hang on a second, hang on.
Taking it to the streets with J-Dog.
Is that a Michael McDonald song?
Yeah, Doobie Brothers, yeah.
Wow, so you've got that and Andre. That's a double whammy.
Double whammy of whatever.
Great jingle.
Yeah, thanks, Jess.
Yeah, cheers. Bye.
What a plum.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off on the M1, heading southbound, rather slow moving, just around junction 11 for Dunstable Road. The A1M's also looking heavy just before junction 7 for Stevenage, and the M25 heading anti-clockwise, very slow between junction 21 the M1 and junction 20 for Kings Langley. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
No idea what happened in the last 10-15 minutes of that broadcast. Ever treated yourself? Ever shut your finger in a car door? Speak to you after the news with Simon.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock. The headlines: Hertfordshire couple backing calls to help parents of stillborn babies. Police warning after 4 jailed for Bedford murder. And wins for Watford and Wickham.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A Hertfordshire couple say the NHS needs to do more for parents of stillborn children. Andrew and Rachel Cantor from Welwyn set up the National Maternity Support Foundation charity after their son Jake was stillborn. They're backing a Milton Keynes mother who's raising money for a soundproof room at the New Cities Hospital. Andrew Cantor says grieving parents don't want to hear other babies crying.
Yes, I mean, I genuinely believe that every maternity unit should have an area like this, and there should be a national strategy that puts this in place. But unfortunately, we don't have that.
Police in Bedford say the life sentences handed down to 4 young men for murdering teenager Isaac Stone are a stark reminder of the dangers of carrying knives. 19-year-old Isaac was stabbed to death in Costin Street in January. His killers will serve minimum jail terms of between 25 and 28 years. Isaac Stone's mother, Yvette Lendor, has paid tribute to her son.
He was a loving person. Everybody loved Isaac, and Isaac liked to be loved, and he was so friendly. He was just a really, really nice person.
On the eve of the Scottish referendum, both sides have embarked on their last day of campaigning. Several new opinion polls give the no side a narrow lead, as the BBC's Scotland political editor Brian Taylor explains.
ICM in the Scotsman, Opinion in the Telegraph and Servation in the Daily Mail, each of them suggesting that it's 48 for yes and 52 for no. Now, of course, the margin of error built into polls means that is pretty well neck and neck. It's really too close to call in the run-up to this final day. There'll be rallies here in Glasgow. There'll be rallies all across Scotland because literally every single vote counts.
Police in Aylesbury have referred their handling of an unexplained death to the Independent Police Complaints Commission. It follows an incident in the early hours of Saturday when a 44-year-old woman died at a residential property in the town. The death is not believed to be suspicious. A report on academy schools has found that some are paying large sums of public money for services provided by members of their own trust boards. The study commissioned by the Education Select Committee has called for testing for potential conflicts of interest to be improved. In sport, Watford are back up to second in the Championship.
Here's Dyer inside the box. It's fouled, and Watford have a penalty. Here comes Fisher, right-footed, into the corner. He applauds the Watford fans who sing his name. It's Blackpool 0, Watford 1.
Elsewhere, Milton Keynes Dons lost 2-1 at home to Bradford. Luton drew 0-0 at York. Wickham won 1-0 at Plymouth. And Stevenage lost 2-1 at Bury. In the Champions League, Liverpool beat Ludogorets 2-1, but Arsenal lost 2-0 in Dortmund. The weather, any early mist clearing to leave another warm and sunny day. A maximum temperature 23 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Just played a great game with Kelly Betts off air.
Today on BBC Three Counties Radio.
From 9.
The JVS Show.
With me, David Prever, where you can join in the big phone-in and have your consumer problems tackled.
From 12.
Nick Coffer.
Dust off your vinyl and get it valued by the man who owns 250,000 records, Andy Chesham.
From 3.
Roberto Peroni.
The best stories as they happen every single afternoon and the greatest talking points.
From 7.
Mark Forrest.
I'll bring you the best bits from everything that's been happening on BBC Local Radio.
Today on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Oh. Mysterious Iain, I want to get close to you.
For goodness sakes, when does this madness end? What the hell is going on? I mean, I'm all for a little bit of fun and a little bit of bands. Catherine Boyle, producer of the
sexual
show.
harassment from Peter Andre.
Well, and he's obviously, what has Dealey got on Andre that he can get him to do this stuff?
I think they shop at the same place. V-necks.
Morning, Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Busy show. Some of the lighter stuff we're talking about this morning. U2, me neither. If you want to delete your U2 album, come and do it live on the air, and then tell me how to do it, because I can't work out how to delete. The thing is, it's not quite downloaded, so it says it's there. I then have to download it just to delete it.
Neat trick.
And I might be charged for the data usage.
Kay in Milton Keynes is not happy on the text. She said, I did wonder why I kept getting messages saying my iCloud storage is nearly full. Not impressed with you two at all. Who do we write to?
Steve Jobs. Lots of people. Who?
The Edge.
The Edge, trademark. Lots of people as well saying they deleted the album and it deleted everything on their cloud.
What?
Oh, Bono. I've got a Bono to pick with you. Hey! Also, ever trapped your finger in a car door yourself? And have you ever treated yourself medically? I don't mean like buying yourself donuts because you wrote a good gag or something. 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
I would love to know if someone has done the tooth thing, where they tie string around a tooth and they tie it to a door and then slam the door shut.
Urban myth. It's got to be, hasn't it? It's the thing that I was always threatened with.
I reckon back in the day it would have happened. Because people couldn't afford... I don't think dentists were invented until 1963.
They all had their teeth out at, 17, didn't they?
It was the thing to do. People would buy... Honestly, this is true. People would get bought for their 21st birthday all of their teeth removed. That was a present. Probably just before my parents. My parents probably just missed that. That's insane. Ever treated yourself medically? 08459 455 555. Has anyone ever done the tooth thing? I would love to think that that's real. It was always... Dennis the Menace was always having it done.
Yeah. That's why it seems like a weird thing to do.
But that's based on fact.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't it based on the artist's own stories as a youngster? Hey, I saw a terrible film yesterday.
What's that?
And I paid £4.49 to download it from Sky. Man, they've got a great scam going there.
Well, it could have been worse. You could have paid £9 for the DVD.
Oh, man, it was the worst film I've ever seen, OK? Literally the worst film I've ever seen. So the kids want to watch a film, and now that the eldest has started school, he's exhausted. A full day at school, it knocks it out of him. So he just wants to kind of, for the first week or so, we're letting him veg in front of the telly a bit and either read or watch a film. And it's not going to be an ongoing thing, but it's just because he's exhausted. So we thought, let's get a film from Sky. We'll rent a film. £4.49, this film called Tiger Tales.
Oh.
Right, and it's about a baby tiger cub stows away with a boy and goes and lives in his house. Great. We love tigers in
It's
our
like the tiger who came to tea,
Yeah.
but less destructive.
78 minutes. OK. The opening titles are 4 minutes long. All right. And then there's lots of the film is made where you don't see the person's mouth as they're talking.
Oh.
And it was rubbish. And what Sky should say, by the way, this film, it was a cheap made-for-TV movie, probably not worth the money we're charging you. I would have been aggrieved at 99 pence. I was embarrassed by it. Rolling up my sleeves now because I'm taking on Murdoch.
So, Sky, if you're listening...
Murdoch.
Look sharp.
You owe me £4.49, fella. I'll be coming to get that.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
OK. On to perhaps slightly more important things. The NHS needs to do more for the parents of stillborn children. That's according to the Hertfordshire-based National Maternity Support Foundation. The charity is praising the efforts of a Milton Keynes mum who's been raising money for a soundproof room at Milton Keynes Hospital so parents can say goodbye to their babies without hearing healthy children being born in the surrounding rooms. Well, I'm joined by Leanne Duggan now. Good morning, Leanne.
Good morning.
How's the campaign going?
It's going really well, actually. We've got about £317 left to raise, but it's just come to a bit of a standstill now.
Oh, because last we heard it was 700 quid, so you're getting closer now.
There's money that still needs to be added on to the Just Giving. We're just waiting on a few cheques to clear, and then we can add that on there.
So £317 off the target. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Tell us why you're doing this. Why this is so important for you.
Basically, in February, I lost my son Harris. I was 39 weeks plus 2 days. I just went for a general checkup, and they told me that his heart had stopped. And I was just absolutely devastated. I never thought anything like that would have happened to me or anything, you know, and it was just such a shock. And then everything is just, you're in this daze and everything's just thrown at you and all this stuff you've got to take in and you haven't even took it. And, you haven't even took in that your baby's heart has stopped yet, let alone anything else, and you get stuck in this room, and it's a beautiful room, but unfortunately it's on the maternity ward, and so you can hear all these mothers screaming and their babies crying their first cry, you know, and it's just, it's like a slap in the face. When you know yours isn't going to cry, it's literally, it just kills you inside. And I just don't think anyone should have to listen to that. Unfortunately, it doesn't come under the NHS budget, so it's left to people like me to sort that out. And I just want to make sure no one else goes through that same thing. Obviously, it's still going to be painful for them, but just to take a little bit of that away, if that helps someone, it would be amazing.
This only happened in February?
Yeah, I found out on the 19th, and I had him on the 21st of February. So it was relatively soon, yeah. Not been that long at all.
And so the money is being raised is to get a soundproof room?
Yeah, the room's already there. It's called the Butterfly Suite.
And is this specifically for people in your situation?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like a double room, so basically you and your partner, as soon as you find out, you can stay in that room if you wish to. The only thing is, obviously, when you're in there, if it's a busy day and there's people in the room next to you or even down the corridor, you can hear other babies crying.
And what effect, because there might be some people listening who don't quite understand the impact that would have.
I think anyone that's lost their child, same situation. I've been inundated with people adding me on Facebook and saying it's a great idea. I couldn't stay in that room either. And me personally, I probably look like a crazy lady. I'll go Tesco shopping, and if I hear a baby cry, especially a newborn, my fingers are in my ears. It's like it brings it all back for me, you know. And although you will go out of the hospital and you will hear babies cry and you'll see babies, I think at that time you're in such a daze. You need to be concentrating on your baby and spending them last few hours with them, because time is limited. You know, they deteriorate very quickly. There's a lot more behind it. So time's so precious. You really just need to spend that quality time with them.
And I suppose hearing, what is supposed to be, a joyful experience, hearing that going on and hearing babies, new life being brought into the world, it must be, well, I can't even begin to imagine what that feels like.
I laid there and there was a lady.
You felt guilty,
screaming.
Did you say?
I felt guilty, yeah, because there was a lady screaming, and I said to my sister, I don't know what she's screaming for, it's not that bad, at least she's got her baby. And then I felt bad for saying that.
Yeah.
But you think, well, why have you got your baby and I haven't got mine? Everything was fine through my pregnancy, and I had lots of checkups, and everyone was looking after me really well. And I heard his heartbeat 7 days before they told me his heart had stopped, and I didn't know why, and we never got an answer, which is the hardest thing to deal with, because then you think, was it me? Did I do something wrong? If there's no medical reason, what happened? And it's just so hard to take in. Even now, I can't really accept it because I've never had a reason. It's like you need a reason to move on. But it's very hard.
Of course it is. And you say even now, it's still relatively recent, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so raw.
It's interesting that you say you felt guilty. That seems... I can completely understand what you're saying. I hadn't even considered that,
Yeah, I remember the day that I found out, and I was in with my consultant, and I just said, he hasn't been moving much lately. And everyone I spoke to, they said, they do that because I was 5 days away from my due date. They do that when they're coming out because of obviously they're conserving their energy. And I walked out of this room after she couldn't find his heartbeat. She was saying, don't panic, we're going to go around for a scan. And all these women were just looking at me. It was like their eyes were on me when I walked out the room. And I was just crying. And I felt even guilty for making them feel sorry for me because I knew they were all pregnant. And I didn't want to put the fear of God into them, because they've seen it's happened to me. I didn't want them to panic. But it's just, you have so many mixed emotions going on. It's just so hard to deal with,
It's, I'm trying to think of the right word. Noble is the word that springs to mind, but it's not quite the right word.
Yeah.
But it is, it's a great tribute to Harris that you have taken this on, and you're doing this for
and so
others.
many other babies as well. You don't realise it's not very talked about at all until it happens to you, and you hold your hands up and you say, but this has happened. Because when you're a woman and you're pregnant, people can see your belly's out miles and things like that. And then when you're walking down the street and people see you with no baby, they're like, where's your baby gone? And you have to explain it, and it's such an awkward thing to do that. And it's just, you don't realise until you've been in that position how common it is and how many people have gone through the same thing. Maybe not as late, sometimes it's a bit earlier, and sometimes it is as late as what I was, but it is quite common and you don't realise.
Yeah, I'm shuffling papers, not because I'm being rude, but because I've got the details of how people can donate. Shall I give this out? So,
yes, please.
Yeah, you can do it online. You can go to www.justgiving.com/babieswithwingsmk. Is that right?
That's right, yep.
And you can also text HUGS. Is it 04?
It's 04, and it's all in capital letters.
HUGS 04 to 70070, and that will donate £4.
Or you can put the amount in after HUGS 04. You can put the amount in yourself. So even if you just want to donate £1, £2, and then you just put the amount in and then text it to the number, and it'll go through.
And you're a few £100 off.
£317. So,
really nice to speak to you this morning. Thank you very much.
You too. Thank you so much for raising awareness, and hopefully we'll get some donations.
I'm sure you'll get a few quid today. Thank you very much indeed. That's Leanne Duggan. Right, it's BBC Three Counties Radio. Let's get the travel.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off on the M1 heading southbound on the speed sensors, quite slow moving just around junction 11 for Dunstable Road. The A1M's also looking quite heavy heading southbound just before junction 7 for Stevenage, and the M25 heading anti-clockwise looking very slow moving between junction 17 at Maple Cross and junction 16 for the M40. Taking a look in Watford and Exchange Road looking quite heavy just around Upton Road on the sensors this morning. And taking a look at the trains, services suspended at the moment on Greater Anglia between Enfield Town and Liverpool Street, also between Cheshunt and Liverpool Street due to an operating incident that's happened there. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Nicola. 7:17. It's Wednesday the 17th of September. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A Hertfordshire couple who started a maternity support charity say the NHS needs to do more for parents of stillborn children. They're backing the fundraising efforts of a Milton Keynes mother. Police in Bedford say the life sentences handed down to 4 young men for murdering teenager Isaac Stone are a stark reminder of the dangers of carrying knives. And in sport, there were wins last night for Watford and Wickham, a draw for Luton, and defeats for MK Dons and Stevenage.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Give it up for the coffer.
Every weekday from 12, Nick Coffer brings you
BBC Three Counties Radio. I've got some great interviews coming up.
He was in the trenches in France and he was shot.
We both look at each other in amazement and can't believe how far we've come with the company, and we love it. We love every day that we do the cakes.
Nick Coffer.
We're telling people, go out and find about your family story and come back and pay tribute to them in a way that is a living, breathing legacy.
Got a strong local link, hasn't it?
A strong local link.
Amy Merritt, she's originally from New Zealand, now settled in Buckinghamshire.
Nick Coffer.
I think it could be brilliant.
Weekdays from 12 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
OK, so hang on a second. So, OK, to delete the U2 album, you have to click on a link. Now, someone has sent me the link, but I don't know what my Apple ID is. I've got no idea what my Apple ID is. Any suggestions, Catherine?
Your Apple ID?
My Apple ID.
It's your email address, isn't it?
I don't know, is it? Well, OK, let's try that. The thing about the Apple ID is I don't know what the password is. It has to have a capital letter, so it's different from all my other passwords. Let's try that one. Nope, not that. If I do it too many times, let's try that one.
It'll lock you out.
Nope, not that.
Careful.
This is a dangerous game we're playing now.
Are you connected to iTunes?
I've clicked on a link that someone sent me.
iTunes is whatever you log in for iTunes is your.
Well, I never log into iTunes.
Maybe you don't have one.
I've got one, mate. 2014, of course, got an iTunes.
No, I mean maybe. Yeah, well then.
Yeah, well, I've got.
Then you've got a log.
Well, I've got one, but I don't know what the login is because I don't log in.
Though. Just say you forgot it.
Let me try.
How do you spell that?
There's a lot of A's in there. Let me try one more. Could be that one.
It's not going to be that one.
No, mate. I'm locked out. I'm stuck with U2 forever.
Well, maybe you'll learn to love them.
Yeah, maybe I will. Now, 4 men are waking up in prison this morning after being found guilty of murdering 19-year-old Isaac Stone in Bedford. In January, they killed Isaac with knives and meat cleavers in Costin Street. The motive? Well, it was a mocking video on YouTube. gosh, really? 22-year-old Mohammed Hussein, Rebel Mia, aged 19, his brother Javed, 21, and 20-year-old Fahim Khan were sentenced to a minimum total of 107 years. Well, our reporter Tony Fisher spoke to people on Midland Road shortly after the murder.
I'll tell you what, I've been stopped 3 years ago, you know. And my friend's been dying here on this road, yeah. 3 years ago, he's been stopped, same, to death, yeah.
On Midland Road?
Yeah, Midland Road, yeah. Few years ago, yeah. So this road, I don't know why, always is someone dying on this road. I don't know what's going on. You know, it's crazy, you know.
Anything that could be done about Midland Road?
More policing. There don't seem to be any police about anymore like there used to be. And I think that has a big effect on the area. I'm sure if there were police about, a lot of this wouldn't happen. But it's one of these areas, it's one of these places. It's always been suspect to sort of crimes and things like that, so...
Are you happy with your daughter living just off this road?
No. But it's just got worse. I'm terrified to walk anywhere, you know, when it gets dark. It frightens me sometimes, I must admit, walking down here.
I don't know, it's just the way this road is. It's always been like that. How can you change something that's always been the same?
Well, Steve LePage is chair of the Midland Road Residents Association. Morning, Steve.
Good morning.
A lot of attention on your area after Isaac's death, wasn't there?
Yeah, you know, it's not surprising, is it? I mean, it's a tragic situation. And I guess for me, I suppose one of the tragic things, I'm glad that these guys have all been convicted and sentenced appropriately, but the tragic thing is that most of them are folk who lived in our community. So sad.
I'm still trying to get my head around the fact that this seemed to have centred around a YouTube video.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
It's just, you know, kids killing kids. It's just crazy. Well, I'm assuming that you have a different image of Midland Road than the people we just heard there.
Yeah, I mean, I think most folk who live in the community don't see it in the same kind of negative way which the image is portrayed outwardly, because by and large, if you're living around the community, then life is okay. And sadly, we have had more murders within a relatively short space of time, over a decade or so, than one would ever anticipate. But they don't tend to have affected the community folk who are living here on an ongoing basis. Dramatically.
Is it a thankless task, Steve, being the chair of Midland Road Residents Association, when we hear stories like this?
It's sad, but no, because we've got the joy of working with others to try and improve things in the community, and liaising with the borough and with the police, and working together to try and make a difference for good.
And how are you doing that? Let's focus on the positive for a moment. What are you doing?
Well, for example, our annual Big Lunch has been the biggest Big Lunch in the borough. It was great this year in July to have nearly 300 people, we think, over the afternoon coming and sharing from all different ethnic backgrounds and all different sort of levels of socio-economic status, as it were, and just sharing in food together in the street and some music and some fun. That was lovely. For example, as well, a bunch of residents getting together and going and working on cleaning up one of the planted areas in one of the streets off Midland Road, making it a more pleasant place to be.
Do you feel safe there, Steve?
Yeah, I do. It's one of the interesting things. When I moved to Bedford first from London, first time I was living on the other side of the town centre in Castle Road, and I didn't feel safe there because the streets were empty. But walking down Midland Road, it doesn't matter what time of day or night it is, there's always people around. So.
The police, there were more police patrols there for a while, weren't there? Did that help? Did that change things?
Well, I think the police have been working proactively to try and address some of the issues which folk face, particularly with street drinking and drug dealing on the streets, and it's good to see some improvement in that area. It's not eliminated. I guess if you've got folk with alcohol problems, it's very difficult to eliminate it completely, but it's good to see some movement in that area and some working with some of the agencies to try and help them with their situation, as it were.
Steve, I appreciate your time this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Bless you, mate.
Steve LePage, chair of the Midland Road Residents Association.
If you hear a whisper, give us a shout.
Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
So, being very brave about it, being a very brave soldier, but I shut my finger in a car door yesterday and it flipping out. It hurt so much, right? I didn't say anything. Didn't make a noise. I just went, ooh. And my wife said, did you swear? I said, no, actually, I didn't. But it was a pain where it took a while for it to hit. It hurt instantly, and then it kind of went. And I got in the car. We were going to go off and pick my son up from school. And as we got to the end of the street, I said to my wife, "This is really starting to smart a bit. I'm going to go home and run it under a cold tap."
Well, you had to go home.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I went home. I got out of the
thought
car.
you'd have soldiered through and picked your son up.
Yeah, no.
It's his first week at school.
Yeah, I know.
What man are you?
Yeah, well, you know, he needs to know. He needs to learn to stand up for himself, and so do I. It really flipping hurt. So we're asking this morning, have you ever...
Did you cry a bit?
No, not if I did. No, I didn't cry, actually. And if I had a cry, what's the problem with that?
No, there isn't a problem, but I thought that might be why you had to go back indoors.
No, there were no tears. So have you ever shut your finger in a car door? Or any door, let's open it to that, or even a window. But also...
What if you stuck your finger in?
Where?
Would it be that?
Steady. You cannot have a phone in entitled "What have you stuck your finger in?" for many, many reasons, most of them legal.
We can.
No.
Our listeners aren't like that.
I'm afraid they are. Kyle?
Morning, boss.
Could we have a phone in? What have you stuck your finger in?
No, I can't answer that.
No, exactly, you see?
All right, let's rephrase it. What if you had your finger stuck in?
No, that's even worse. Carl, you've not had your finger stuck anywhere, I'm hoping. Let's move on. But you have treated yourself, haven't you? You've treated yourself medically.
Kind of, but kind of not.
Oh,
so
well, have you or not? What's going on, mate?
I've treated somebody else.
Well, that's just first aid.
Right. Well, no, this is embarrassing to say on a radio station, but
It's only BBC Three Counties. Don't worry.
My younger brother. He had like a really, really, really wobbly tooth when he was about 7 or 8.
Yeah, that happens.
And so I insisted. I sort of didn't insist. I sort of said, "Well, if you want us to get the tooth out, we can do." And he said, "How?" And I said, "Tie a bit of cotton around it and put it on the door handle, and we'll slam the door." And we did it, and took his tooth out.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is not an urban myth. Kyle did it to his 7-year-old brother, and it worked.
Yeah, no, it did. He actually thanked me afterwards as well.
Wow. Have you ever been tempted? I mean, what do you do for a living now, Kyle?
I can't tell you that.
Another spy. We've got so many spies listening to this. Kyle, have you ever been tempted to do it to yourself?
No, because I'm not mental.
From now on, that is Agent Kyle.
Your kids are at the age where their teeth are starting to come out.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Hasn't one got a wobbly front tooth that's just been hanging?
It's out. She was like Nanny McPhee for a good week.
Next time one's loose, could you do this and film it for YouTube? We'll put it on Facebook.
I'll end up getting a call from the social. What are you talking about?
08459 455 555. Ever tret yourself? And well, we've got one story of someone removing a tooth using a bit of string. Have you done that?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off on the M1 heading southbound, rather slow moving this morning, just around junction 11 for Dunstable Road. Also the A1 I'm looking heavy just before junction 7 for Stevenage, and the A41 that's looking quite slow moving just between the Hemel Hempstead turn-off and junction 20 for the M25. The M25 itself rather heavy anti-clockwise between junction 17 at Maple Cross and junction 16 the M40. In Boreham Wood it's queuing at the moment on the Barnet bypass between Stirling Corner and Mill Hill Circus, and on the trains at the moment on Greater Anglia services suspended between Enfield Town and Liverpool Street and Cheshunt and Liverpool Street. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30. I'm Simon Oxley. A Hertfordshire couple who started a maternity support charity say the NHS needs to do more for parents of stillborn children. They're backing the fundraising efforts of a Milton Keynes mother who's raising money for a soundproof room at the New City's hospital. Police in Bedford say the life sentences handed down to 4 young men for murdering teenager Isaac Stone are a stark reminder of the dangers of carrying knives. And on the eve of the Scottish referendum, both sides have embarked on their last day of campaigning. Several new opinion polls give the no side a narrow lead.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Watford are back up to second in the Championship after a second-half penalty from Matej Vydra gave them a 1-0 win at Blackpool, the home side missing a penalty. Here's assistant coach Ruben Martinez.
The game was for us because we had a lot of chances. We had the possession ball, but this is football and all these things can happen.
In League One, Milton Keynes Dons lost 2-1 at home to Bradford, despite a rare goal from skipper Dean Lewington, with manager Cole Robinson sent to the stands in the second half.
Supposedly, I've said something that is derogatory towards one of their players, but I didn't see it as too bad. But I think I've said something else. But I have been told that I manhandled the assistant referee. I think you rightly see I was quite away from him. But anyway, we'll just have to wait and see what the report says. In League Two, Luton drew 0-0 at York. Here's manager John Still.
We don't need a goal scorer because we had about 4 people that could have scored tonight. So it isn't actually, a forward that scores a goal. It's people that get in goal-scoring positions. I thought people should have taken their chances. And we didn't. We've played terrific, but we do have to take our chances, no doubt about that.
Wycombe are up to third in League Two after a Paul Hayes goal gave them a 1-0 win at Plymouth. And Stevenage lost 2-1 at Bury despite taking an early lead through Adam Marriott. Here's manager Graham Westley.
We came here with a lot of youth and at times we looked youthful on the field. We looked inexperienced. We lost our defensive shape out of eagerness and willingness to work hard. And we're working at the moment with a lot of young lads who are gaining very good experience, who are improving as players, and we came up slightly short tonight.
Liverpool made a winning return to the Champions League as a stoppage-time penalty from Steven Gerrard gave them a 2-1 win over the Bulgarian side Ludo Goretz. Arsenal, though, lost 2-0 away to Dortmund. Tonight, Manchester City are away to Bayern Munich. Chelsea host another German side, Schalke. BBC Three Counties News and Sports. The next full bulletin is at 8.
If you hear a whisper, give us a shout.
Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Catherine Boyle, producer of the show, in inverted commas and italics, is showing off that she can flap her hands around, and I can't do that because I would be in agony. Terrible night's sleep because of my sore finger.
Did you have it raised on the pillow?
I did, yeah. I did, but it didn't work. And then was this the last 2 days you've made reference to the fact that you think I look like Mr. Tickle. Where has that come from?
You told me you've got abnormally long hands.
I've got very long arms, but would you go up to someone in the wheelchair and go, ha-ha?
Well, you flagged it up.
Ha-ha, look at my legs. And you'd start doing a little jig in front of them? Or would you go up to a blind person and go, oh, look, colours? What? No. So why are you mocking me?
Because it's you.
Unbelievable.
Because it's you, and obviously you lost track of your hands. Because of your very, very abnormally long
Often
arms.
Happens, and apologies to anyone in the office if you've been a victim of that.
You're not the only one.
What?
In that you are. Linda says, I slammed my thumb in my car door. I'm not great with these things. When I eventually freed my thumb, which was completely flat...
Yeah. Oh, wow, a completely flat thumb.
After frantically pressing the key remote several times in panic and then realising I had to open the car door to get it out, she locked her... yeah!
My mum locked my finger in a car door once.
I walked into the post office to pick up some post and promptly fainted at the counter. Off to A&E for a drill hole in the nail. Yuckaroo.
Well, so the drill hole is an official thing, Linda.
Turns out my granddad was a trailblazer.
He was like Louis Pasteur, wasn't he?
Yes.
But it was completely flat. Gosh, well, I don't think Linda would lie. I have to take her on her word.
The body does do strange things when you trap it in places.
Well, exactly. If you've ever had a piano dropped on your head, you instantly get amnesia. Or is it a safe? Both. You know the best way to cure amnesia? You get an anvil dropped on your head. That's the only thing that brings your memory back.
A frying pan to the face and a Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, we go, you see.
The tooth guy's brother said thank you, said Mark. We had to say thank you to the headmaster after getting the cane at school.
Yeah, that's where deviancy begins, isn't it? Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Do you think he said, what do you say?
Thank you, sir. Oh, unpleasant. 08459 455 555. I've been told, Justin, you won't carry on until I play your jingle. Is that right?
That's right, Princess. Great bands this morning, by the way.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
no. No.
Mysterious Iain. I want to get close to you.
No, that's the wrong
one.
Calm
down, Pete.
Hang on a second. Hang on.
That makes me feel a bit funny.
Why? Peter Andre's a handsome guy.
He said it with such sincerity at the end.
Okay, this is what we have to play now.
Taking it to the streets with J-Dog.
OK.
I
well,
love the calm ending to that, don't you?
Well, hopefully that's the last time we'll hear that jingle today.
What?
Well, I'm just saying, hopefully it's the last time we'll hear that jingle today.
No.
OK. We'll discuss that. I'm saying, Justin, that's the last time we'll hear that jingle on this show.
No.
Afraid it is, mate.
No.
Afraid it is. I'm the boss. So, we've been asking, when have you tracked yourself? Medically speaking, of course.
Yeah.
Have you ever tracked yourself?
Probably years ago with a football injury, yeah, but nothing too major compared to what's coming up here.
Hey.
Ian, I've taken this one to the streets for you. 2 stories coming up. A man who pulls his teeth out with his own hands, and a lady who swears by string door bang. Ian, I'm in St Albans this morning.
String door bang. I've got their second album on vinyl.
Great album. So yeah, I'm in St Albans this morning.
Yes.
Asking people about self-treatment. This is what happened.
Taking it to the streets with J-Dog.
Well, here with Stuart. Stuart has got an incredible story. Stuart, you often self-treat yourself when it comes to dental work. How many teeth have you pulled out in your lifetime?
8.
8 teeth?
And I've got 1 to go.
Did it hurt?
Yeah, it hurts. Feels like it's coming out the back of your neck.
So why don't you go to the dentist?
It's too dear. And if I go, it costs me a fortune, so...
You say you got 1 more on the way. When are you going to be taking that one out?
Oh,
That's really loose, isn't it?
Yeah, I reckon it'll either be today or tomorrow.
You're going to pull it out today or tomorrow?
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. Right, I'm going to leave you to it. I'm quite scared now. Thank you very much.
All right, mate.
The Ladies' Perspective with Iain Lee across beds, hearts and bucks.
Kath, you have taken out 2 of your own teeth using string and a door. This was what Iain was looking for. Tell us how it felt.
Painful, very painful. But it felt good afterwards. It's a bit of a relief afterwards to have the teeth out. You know, they were hurting for quite a long time and I couldn't afford to go to the dentist. So that's why I done it.
I mean, talk us through it, because you've got to be in severe pain to have done that in the first place.
Yeah, I was in a lot of pain. It was just, you know, it was, like I said, it was my dad. He used to always do that when we were young, and I just followed what he done, really.
How long did it take you to set the room up?
A couple of minutes, that's all.
And then bang, that was it?
Yeah. Just tied the string round my tooth, tied it to the door handle and just slammed the door shut. That was it.
Wow. Would you ever do it again?
Possibly, if I had to, yeah.
And just lastly, you mentioned your dad there.
Yeah.
So this kind of runs in the family. He never went to the dentist at all. So he removed his teeth the same way?
No, he done it that way and he also used pliers.
Pliers?
Pliers, yeah. He didn't believe in dentists. He couldn't handle all that lot. So.
He believed in pliers instead?
Well, yeah, basically, you know. I know I've got a weird family, I know.
Well, we're learning something new today. Thank you so much for your time, madam. Have a good day.
OK, thank you.
For goodness sakes.
Taking it to the streets with J-Dog.
Right. I mean,
there
that's...
you go.
Yeah. It's flipping. It sounds like Hill Street Blues. What was that nonsense in the middle?
What do you mean?
The ladies.
You said to me yesterday...
The ladies.
Hey, Justin, great idea.
Yeah.
Let's have a new feature called The Ladies' Perspective.
Yeah.
So, whilst I was catching up with Peter Andre, of course, famous for Mysterious...
Over coffee and cake over an ISDN line, yeah?
Yeah. Very good friends. I said, Peter, would you mind doing me a quick line on The Ladies' Perspective? He went, oh, what's this feature? I said, well, it's where we go out into the streets, Peter, and we get The Ladies' Perspective. He went, do you know what? That makes sense.
Well, it's very well explained.
But yeah, but why? Hang on, just listen. There's a flaw in this.
Go on.
The Ladies' Perspective with Iain Lee
Not me.
across beds, hearts and bucks.
It's nothing to do with me, Just. And there's a scratch. You put a scratched record noise at the end. It's not 1989. For crying out loud.
You say it's got nothing to do with you.
It to be even vaguely relevant, it should be a CD scratching, not a scratched record noise.
Listen, we do things properly, and let's not forget, OK? Let's not forget this. Your name is above the door. That's like a pub landlord saying, oh, well, I wasn't here at the time. Well, your name's still above the door.
I'm tempted to bar you, mate.
Why?
Kelly?
I can remove the Iain Lee bit if you like.
Can you do a little bit of magic so that it says Justin?
Yes.
Thank you. Well, great stories, though. I mean, apart from you kind of started getting a little bit too big for your boots, great stories.
The personal branding.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, that man we spoke to, first of all, he was showing me how he pulls his teeth out. This is so graphic.
Did he pull it out in front of you?
Maybe, because he said to me, look at this. He said, look, it's got to come out either today
He should have whipped it
or
out in
tomorrow.
front of you, Justin.
I tell you what. Yeah. How about I go and have a word with him?
Is he still there?
He's still here. He's still here. He works on the market.
Mate, get him to do it. Record it or get him to do it live on air today or tomorrow.
Is that what you want?
Not that we condone it, of course. It's probably breaking loads of health and safety. So
no. But he said to me on tape there, without being pushed, he said that tooth has got to come out either today or tomorrow. It's so loose. When he was talking to me, I could see it moving. So it's got to come out.
Do you think, Justin, you can persuade a man to get it out live on air?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say 5. But leave it with me.
Dealey, we'll speak to you later on.
Take care.
Thank you very much indeed. Probably, this is going against, Ofcom, probably the law.
If he's going to do it anyway, it's not like we're telling him to get it out. He's going to get it out anyway.
Yeah, I think someone got this. That's the same argument as if someone stood on a bridge about to jump.
No.
You sure? You sure? You're the producer. This is both of us going down here.
Yeah.
You got a text about someone using pliers, haven't you?
Yeah, it was Jade. My granddad pulled his tooth out with pliers a few weeks ago.
Whoa! Well, like just pliers from the garage?
I'm taking it. Yeah, he didn't have medical grade pliers. There's another one here as well. Google Antarctica 1961. This is from John.
Oh.
Russian surgeon operates on own appendix. Oh, that's kind of smart.
Is there video footage of that?
1961. I doubt it. And Nigel said 3 words: caught in zip.
Well,
you've got to self-treat there. You've got to
there must be because my first question whenever I speak to a doctor, okay, this is always my first, second, or third question, is have you ever
after been busy?
Have you ever done a tracheotomy with a biro? You know the thing where they put it
this
through.
Is before you take your coat off, you ask them that.
No, well, no. If I am, if I'm in conversation with them in a bar.
Oh.
So I'm in a hotel bar in Hong Kong, and the guy says he's a doctor. So, you ever done that thing where you get a biro and push it through someone's throat? And the number of doctors that have said yes, they have done that, is absolutely astounding. And the point I'm getting at is, we mentioned the gentleman who did his own appendix. People can operate on themselves. It's quite common.
Don't try it at home.
No. But if you do, film it.
No.
Send it to me.
No.
We'll put it on Facebook.
No, we can't.
Why?
I
don't see.
So many reasons why.
OK, well, just send it to me and I'll have a laugh.
No.
Ian.lee@bbc.co.uk.
Oh. I was hoping for verrucas. I don't want anyone removing organs.
Listen, I didn't think we'd get anything on this. We have we've started off sprinting, and the thing is, we're involved in a marathon, so we need to up our game.
Wow, I'm concerned where this game will end.
I bet there is somebody who has taken out. Well, people amputate their own limbs.
Oh no!
What?
No. No.
You've changed since that last warning we both had recently.
Yeah.
I can understand why, thanks. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. When have you tracked yourself medically? And do you want to delete your U2 album live on the radio? This could happen. Carpet Martin on Twitter says that Pondre sting, I believe that's an abbreviation of Peter Andre, that Pondre sting is amazing. It almost sounds like he's not reading it. I think it's good. Justin's got in his celebrity mates over an ISDN line, and he's shown initiative.
And thanks, Pondre. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Pondre. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number. Should you wish to give us a call, BBC Three Counties Radio. Let's get the travel news. Here's Nicola.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off on the M1 heading southbound, rather heavy moving on the speed sensors at the moment between junction 12 for Flitwick and junction 11 for Dunstable. The M25 rather heavy heading anti-clockwise between junction 17 at Maple Cross and junction 16 for the M40. At the moment in Bricketwood it's queuing on the North Orbital Road just at junction 21A for the M25. Also queuing on camera on the Barnet bypass heading southbound between Stirling Corner and Mill Hill Circus. And on Greater Anglia at the moment, service suspended, and that's between Enfield Town and Liverpool Street and Cheshunt and Liverpool Street. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Nicola. 7:45. It's Wednesday, the 17th of September. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A Hertfordshire couple who started a maternity support charity say the NHS needs to do more for parents of stillborn children. They're backing the fundraising efforts of a Milton Keynes mum. Police in Bedford say the life sentences handed down to 4 young men for murdering teenager Isaac Stone are a stark reminder of the dangers of carrying knives. And in sport, there were wins last night for Watford and Wycombe, a draw for Luton and defeats for MK Dons and Stevenage.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. It's a rather cloudy start across all 3 counties, actually. A bit of mist and fog out there as well. Perhaps not quite as widespread as yesterday, but there is still some. It's gradually starting to lift, but it is going to be predominantly cloudy through this morning. Eventually, we'll see the sun melt the cloud away towards the east coast, and we'll get some sunshine this afternoon, and that's when we're going to get our warmest temperatures. It's going to feel quite warm and muggy this afternoon, 22 Celsius, the maximum temperature. Overnight, we'll see the cloud reintroduce itself from the east. We'll get some mist and fog. Minimum temperature 14 Celsius, so still feeling quite muggy overnight, and a similar start tomorrow morning, but it looks like the cloud and the mist is going to clear significantly more quickly tomorrow as the air is coming from the east. It's a lot drier. It'll dry out the moisture in our air that little bit faster, so some more sunshine tomorrow, and again feeling warm, the maximum temperature 22 Celsius. With the increased humidity overnight Thursday into Friday, we also see an increased risk of a thundery downpour. That's your forecast.
Kate?
Yeah?
Have you ever self-tracked yourself?
Ever what?
Have you ever self-tracked yourself?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Fair enough.
When you need local news.
Patient groups in Milton Keynes say a lack of doctors is putting public health at risk.
When you need local travel.
Northbound on the M1, the road is still closed for accident investigation work.
When you need local weather.
Still some patchy cloud around this afternoon.
BBC Three Counties Radio is here.
See 1 or 2 showers develop on that cloud.
With local, up-to-date news and travel bulletins throughout the day.
A businesswoman says she fears for her livelihood.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
What you done?
I pressed stop. I was trying to avoid this.
The Ladies' Perspective with J-Dog across Beds, Herts and Bucks.
Seamless.
I was trying to avoid that, and I jumped the trailer there. But you know, hey, it's BBC Three Counties Radio. We do local stuff.
Yeah.
What's your beef with that? 08459 455 555. A little recap of where we been, please, Catherine.
Self-treating yourself. Have you ever done it yourself?
No.
For yourself?
Say it properly.
So have you ever self-treated yourself?
Thank you very much indeed. That's the phone in.
Or did you wreck yourself?
Don't.
We need to show both sides of this.
No,
I mean, you're
forget this
advocating people take
impartiality.
their organs out.
I'm not advocating it. I'm just saying if you have to do it,
do it on air.
Yeah, if you've got to do it right. Do it with me. Isn't it though? Isn't it, Dave?
Yes, it is, boss.
You ever self-treat yourself?
No.
Never?
No.
Because you're like from the older generation.
Excuse me?
You guys, you out of breath?
No, it's you.
No, I'm not.
Talking about old again.
Yeah.
I caught my fingers, 2 fingers, years ago in the old train, the old doors.
Okay, can I just say, by the way, we are not doing the phone-in that Catherine suggested. What have you got your fingers stuck in?
No.
We should. More people have got their fingers stuck.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, Dave, that really isn't where we want to take this, is it?
No, I'll say about mine, okay?
Actually, my phone in was, what if you stuck your finger in?
All right, well, let's try it. Dave?
What?
What have you stuck your finger in?
Nothing.
What, never?
Fibber.
No.
Oh.
No, but
come on, listen. You know, right? When you're walking, if you're stuck in a room and you see like a little hole in the table or the chair that you're sat on, everyone sticks their finger in it.
Here's one. I used to do all the time and regret it. You know the definition of madness: doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
All right, Einstein.
Do you remember the wet wipe packs?
Yeah.
That used to have sort of a cross-shaped opening.
Yeah.
You could put your finger in.
Great
Try and
times.
get that bad boy out. Really hurts.
Yeah.
I did it more than once.
Stings, doesn't it?
Smarties packets as well.
Sorry?
put any fingers in the Smarties box.
A what box?
The Smartie. You know,
The
the
Smarties has got a
round
T in it, mate.
Tube.
Yeah.
I said Smartie.
You said Smarties.
What,
from
what?
Luton.
Smarties.
Excuse me, am
You
I
said
on this
football.
radio?
Yeah.
Excuse me, am I
So
on
you've
this
stuck your finger
radio?
in the Smarties packet.
Tube, yeah.
Why don't
Why?
you just tip?
Excuse me.
You always
am
tip.
I on
You always
And
tip
it
and you
got
tip it
stuck.
back.
And it got stuck. I was trying to get the ones right at the bottom.
Hey, do you know
they were
that-
stuck there because they were sticky.
They haven't
weren't
got the
coming
lids.
out of the shaking.
They haven't got. That's because you. They haven't got the lids anymore.
They're octagonal.
I know.
So have they not got the letter on the
You
lid?
can't collect them.
Because you always used to collect the letter of the lid.
Someone's eaten them, haven't they?
That's unbelievable.
Health and safety.
It's gone. Health and safety gone mad. We're going to hell in a handcart. It's the thin end, dear listener, of the wedge.
Isn't it, Dave?
Excuse me, do I get a listen in here, or looking, or speaking? You know.
Do you remember Looking magazine?
Yeah, they used to have the lyrics, didn't they?
It was like Radio Times for kids, TV Times for kids, and it would have like cartoons of Adam Ant falling in love and stuff.
And Aha.
Yeah, it was weird, really weird. We never used to read it. It was always because my dad used to work for the BBC. We didn't really have much to do with ITV. That's why I thought it's actually because my mum was a bit of a middle class snob.
Oh.
That's why.
So no looking for
I'm trying
you.
to think what magazines we used to get. I mean, comics, wasn't it? Bit of Dandy, Beano,
Yeah.
Whizzer and Chips.
Yeah.
I used to like Plug. Big fan of Plug. Remember Plug? He had his ears sticking out.
Yeah. Bash Streets.
The Bash Street Kids.
Then I went on to Just 17. I wasn't.
No. Well, it's aimed at 13-year-olds, isn't it?
My dad nearly had a thrombo when I started reading more.
Well, it's all about. It's all about. What did you used to read in your day, Kels?
Whiz Kids.
The Whiz Kids.
Yeah.
The Lion.
The thing about comics is, they're actually rubbish.
No, Beano's still
What was
great.
that one? Rewind. Fast forward.
Fast forward.
Yeah, that one.
Fast forward. Forward.
Fast
forward. That was the song.
Excuse me,
That was
do
the
I
song.
get a look in here?
Dennis is ringing. Shall I answer it and put him on?
Yeah, let's get to speak to Dennis.
Oh, God.
08459 455 555 if you want to give us a call about stuff. Let's go to Dave Luton. Morning, Dave.
Bye. I think Dave's gone.
Where's Dad? She's about to go to him. Where's he gone?
What's he gone quiet for?
That's a little bit rude, isn't it? Oh, well.
Shall we ring him back?
I wouldn't bother, to be honest.
I'll get Dennis.
Get-
Next best thing.
Let's get Dennis on, shall
Hi,
we?
Dennis, down the
I
line.
need a bit of music for Dennis.
Hello.
Hello, Dennis. Hello.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, oh, good. It's because you're on the phone to us, so it works.
Yes, that's right.
Yes,
but
I know.
I was cut off, you see.
Well,
I heard you say your father worked for the BBC.
Correct, sir.
That's how you got this job. That was nepotism.
Yep.
I don't know.
What's your beef with that?
Nothing. I thought, no, how did an idiot manage to get on the BBC? His dad got him in. Oh, God.
My dad, or as I like to call him, Lord Reith, got me this position.
Yeah, I
and
shouldn't
I've not got a
I
problem
shouldn't
with
own
that.
up to Lord Reith. He was not a gentleman.
I don't have a problem with nepotism at all. Why has nepotism become a dirty word?
Well, because you get into something that you're not really entitled to.
Why not? Hey, listen. When you
found you a job.
When people get jobs, okay, you pull every string. It's not uncommon for a son or a daughter to follow their parents and work in a similar field, is it? Apart from you, Catherine.
No, I am.
Oh, there you go. You see.
My dad's a journalist. Told me not to be one. I beed one.
You're a what?
Journalist.
My mother was a dressmaker.
Coffee.
I didn't want to be a dressmaker.
No, but you ended up in dresses.
No, I didn't.
The thing is, it's not uncommon to follow your parents in their same kind of field. And why would you not help your children get some work?
No, my mother helped me. She opened the front door and said, I've kept you for 21 years. Bugger off and keep yourself.
There we go, Dennis. Thank you.
Also, as long as you're good at the job, it doesn't really matter how you got there, does it?
No, not at all. Whenever you go...
well, this is when... Are you good because you knew how to get there?
What?
Are you good because you were helped?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as long as you are good. If you're not capable of doing the job, then sling your hook. And there's one or two people here I could suggest that to. I'm looking at them.
Yeah, you see.
I mean, look at Chloe Madeley. We wouldn't have her without Richard and Judy, would we? And that would be a great loss to the broadcasting industry.
What does she do?
I don't.
People say that I look like her.
Oh, Kelly's the right one. She's got a beautiful speaking voice, so she's right. She's right for the job.
Thanks, Dennis.
Kelly, anytime.
You're telling me, Dennis.
And Catherine.
You're telling me, Dennis.
Yes.
That you would never help your children get a little bit of work because you disagree with nepotism?
The only thing I did with them, tell them get into engineering. That's the only help I gave them.
Oh, hang on a minute then.
Get into engineering. Make sure they get a good education, and then launch them off into space.
Dennis, have you... Oh, you want to be astronauts. Hey, there's a... This is an amazing story the other day, right? There's a golf match going on. I don't know anything about golf. A fella...
Golf match?
Sure, why not? A fella on the 15th hole gets a hole-in-one, right? Dennis, guess what you won for that?
What do we win?
No, you don't win anything. You guess what he won for getting a hole-in-one.
I should think quite a few quid.
Nope. Catherine, you guess.
A golf club.
Oh, no, mate. Kelly?
He got to ride around the thingy, on the golf buggy.
No. He won a trip to space.
Oh.
He got a hole-in-one on the 15th hole. He won a trip to space.
That is a very cunning prize, because ain't no one going to cash that in.
Isn't that amazing? He's won a trip to space, Dennis, just for getting a ball in a tiny hole.
And by the end of this year, he might be able to get the trip.
Have you ever self-tracked yourself, Dennis?
Only with the zips.
Thank you very much indeed. He won a trip to space. Isn't that amazing?
It's all right.
That's a real thing.
So what, if you had your fingers stuck in? Call me now.
No.
459 455 555. Vanessa of Bedford has.
Yeah.
No, she's not called us. She sent us a text. My younger brother had his fingers caught in a train door. He was about 5 at the time. It was a diesel.
Hey, those train doors really do smart.
Oh, do you remember Dave Luton, who called in earlier?
To this show?
Did we speak to him?
Well, kind of.
I remember most of the callers to the show. I don't remember Dave. When has he called?
He shut his fingers in the train door. That's why he rang.
Is he Vanessa's brother?
Maybe.
Oh, Vanessa. So sorry.
Wait, is Vanessa's last name Luton?
No, Bedford.
Oh.
Now, if you go to Twitter, someone has... Well, I've got two... Oh, my God. Is she all right?
That's a caller.
Oh, wow. Joybell, ever self-track yourself? Joybell says, I tied cotton on a mole.
Oh, I've heard of this as well.
It swelled up and died off. And then someone sent me a picture, which I'm going to retweet. It's horrible, right? And it's Pete, and he says, woman versus deck chair. Deck chair 1. Go and look at what remains of her finger. You all right, Kels? Mm-hmm. You sure?
Yep, you're about to hear.
Well, we've only got 30 seconds. Can we squeeze it into 30 seconds?
She thinks so.
Fader 2 is Tony.
Tony, what have you got for us?
Hello, Ian. Yeah, you want to know about what you do to cure your own problems?
Yeah, Catherine's just seen that woman's finger. Yes, go on.
I burst my own piles.
Ladies and gentlemen, on that bombshell.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off on the A1M, that's looking rather heavy moving, heading southbound between junction 8 for Stevenage and junction 7. The M25 heading anti-clockwise, quite heavy moving between junction 21, the M1, and junction 16 for the M40. In North Watford, the A41 Northwestern Avenue looking quite heavy just around St Albans Road, and the A40 Western Avenue, that's queuing at the moment between the Swakeleys roundabout and Gypsy Corner on camera, and the M40 is queuing as well, heading northbound from the Denham roundabout to the M25. Taking a look at the trains at the moment, service is suspended on Great Anglia between Enfield Town and Liverpool Street and Cheshunt and Liverpool Street, and that's all due to an operating incident. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Nicola, I don't know if you heard the caller just before you came on. It was Tony. He said, he said he burst his own piles.
I know, I'm feeling a little queasy.
Thanks very much indeed. I'd rather feel queasy than feel his... OK, guys, this is turning in to be the phone-in of the year. When have you self-tracked yourself? Give us a call. We'll speak after the news with Simon.
local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock. The headlines: Hertfordshire couple backing help for parents of stillborn babies. Police warning after 4 jailed for Bedford murder. And wins for Watford and Wickham.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The Hertfordshire couple say the NHS needs to do more for parents of stillborn children. Andrew and Rachel Cantor from Welwyn set up the National Maternity Support Foundation charity after their son Jake was stillborn. They're backing a Milton Keynes mother who is raising money for a soundproof room at the New Cities Hospital. Leanne Duggan gave birth to her stillborn son in February with the noise of healthy babies all around her.
When you know yours isn't going to cry, it just kills you inside. And I just don't think anyone should have to listen to that. Unfortunately, it doesn't come under the NHS budget, so it's left to people like me to sort that out.
Police in Bedford say the life sentences handed down to 4 young men for murdering teenager Isaac Stone are a stark reminder of the dangers of carrying knives. 19-year-old Isaac was stabbed to death in Costin Street in January. His killers will serve minimum jail terms of between 25 and 28 years. Detective Inspector Adam Gallop is from the Beds and Herts Major Crime Unit.
It's another case, another example of knives being taken out onto the streets with catastrophic results. And hopefully this result today will help send another clear message to those young people who take to the streets with knives that you're not untouchable, and the police will catch you and you will face extremely lengthy sentencing as a result of your actions.
Police investigating the murders of 2 British holidaymakers in Thailand say they now consider 2 men from the UK as possible suspects. Both are described as being in the care of police in Bangkok, but neither has been formally detained or arrested. On the eve of the Scottish referendum, both sides have embarked on their last day of campaigning. Several new opinion polls give the no side a narrow lead, as the BBC's Scotland political editor Brian Taylor explains.
ICM in the Scotsman, Opinion in the Telegraph and Servation in the Daily Mail, each of them suggesting that it's 48 for yes and 52 for no. Now, of course, the margin of error built into polls means that is pretty well neck and neck. It's really too close to call in the run-up to this final day. There'll be rallies here in Glasgow. There'll be rallies all across Scotland because literally every single vote counts.
Police have released video footage of a police car being rammed in Hertfordshire by a man wanted for burglaries across the east of England, worth around £500,000. They're hunting 23-year-old Luke Wall and his partner, 20-year-old Teresa Connors. The footage shows a marked police car being rammed on the M25 in Hertfordshire in June. A report on academy schools has found that some are paying large sums of public money for services provided by members of their own trust boards. The study, commissioned by the Education Select Committee, has called for testing for potential conflicts of interest to be improved. In sport, Watford are back up to second in the Championship.
Here's Dyer inside the box, it's fouled, and Watford have a penalty. Here comes Fitcher, right-footed, into the corner! He applauds the Watford fans who sing his name. It's Blackpool 0, Watford 1.
Elsewhere, Milton Keynes Dons lost 2-1 at home to Bradford. Luton drew 0-0 at York. Wickham won 1-0 at Plymouth. And Stevenage lost 2-1 at Bury. The weather, any early mist clearing to leave another warm and sunny day. A maximum temperature 23 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Oh. Mysterious Iain, I want to get close to you.
Today on BBC Three Counties Radio.
From 9.
The JVS Show.
With me, David Prever, where you can join in the big phone-in and have your consumer problems tackled.
From 12.
Nick Coffer.
Dust off your vinyl and get it valued by the man who owns 250,000 records, Andy Chesham.
From 3.
Roberto Peroni.
The best stories as they happen every single afternoon and the greatest talking points.
From 7.
Mark Forrest.
I'll bring you the best bits from everything that's been happening on BBC Local Radio.
Today on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Oh.
Goodness sakes, how do we make this hell
Mysterious
stop?
Iain, I want to get close to you.
Just let him get close to you.
I don't want him to get close to me, not after last time. Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Should soundproof rooms be standard in maternity units in hospitals for those people who've, well, not been quite so lucky? When have you self-tracked yourself? It's a really odd show this morning. And what was the one you came up with? What have you stuck?
What if you stuck your finger in?
Oh, for goodness sake.
What?
08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's one of those shows. Let's do something a bit serious, and then we'll get on to the other the rubbish that we're spouting about. Now, the NHS needs to do more for parents whose pregnancies don't go according to plan. That's according to the Hertfordshire-based National Maternity Support Foundation, which says too many hospitals don't know how to deal with miscarriages and stillbirths sensitively. Catherine Boyle joins me in the studio. What's prompted this charity's comments?
Well, a phone call from us, really. We called the National Maternity Support Foundation, which is based in Hertfordshire, after hearing about a lady called Iain Duggan. She's from Milton Keynes, and she lost a baby earlier this year. She went for a check-up towards the end of her pregnancy, which was only in February, and was told that her baby had passed away in the womb. Now, in these cases, it's quite usual for the mother's labour to be induced. So she was taken to the labour ward like any other woman, and there she gave birth to her son, Harris. And she says the staff at Milton Keynes Hospital were absolutely fantastic, and she couldn't fault them at all for the way they behaved. They couldn't have helped her more. But her abiding memory, once she'd given birth to Harris, was that precious time she had with him, which was limited anyway, was kind of marked by the fact that she could hear other people giving birth to healthy babies around her.
As a man, I'd never really considered this before until we started having kids, and then you kind of think, oh gosh, what if things went wrong? And at our NCT class, there was a woman who had lost a baby quite late on. And one of the things that shocked me was that a lot of people, when you lose a baby, whatever stage, don't consider it to be a baby.
I know.
You can always try again. Hey, you can have another one. That's what people had said to her. Not many people, and I'm sure that number is decreasing. People say, never mind, you can try again.
I have a friend who was in that position too, and she said that once she was at a graveyard, they had an interment for the baby, and there was a man who she was speaking to, and he said, what was your baby called? And she said that was the first time anyone had ever referred to that child as my baby.
Because people don't seem to realise, and do you know what, maybe I didn't until you know, my wife got pregnant. Maybe I'd never really thought about it. Maybe I didn't realise. But at some point, whether that child is stillborn or not, unless it's a cesarean, you're passing that. You're still having a birth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just under incredibly tragic circumstances.
And often it's dealt with as a procedure. This is the problem, that it's dealt with as a procedure. And of course, the NHS has to deal with it in terms of care. But the call from the National Maternity Support Foundation is also to think about the psychological well-being. What's
Leanne? She's channeling her grief, isn't she? She's kind of working.
It's all very fresh, and you spoke to her early on, and she's very together, given what she's been through. She says she wants to make sure now that no one else has to deal with that, as well as everything else in future, by having this soundproof room built for parents to say goodbye to their children. She's about, what did she say now?
£317 off target.
So it looks like it's going to happen for Milton Keynes. But what Andrew Cantor from the National Maternity Support Foundation told us is that they shouldn't have to be found, the money shouldn't have to be found by charities, by well-wishers. It should be standard with the NHS.
I think it's absolutely fantastic what Leanne is doing. But I think the real point and the real issue is that I think it's really incumbent upon the trust, the NHS, to fund these, what I call necessary facilities, because, you know, unfortunately, yes, it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it is such a huge impact.
If you want to give to the charity, we'll give the details out in about 1 minute 30 seconds, so you've got that long to go and get a pen and paper. Leanne's experience, we spoke to her, it's obviously it's affected her terribly, hasn't it?
It has. It's one of the only things that she remembers clearly about the time that was very foggy for obvious reasons. You know, she found out the baby wasn't alive, and very quickly she was put into a sort of chain of events that she had no control over, really. She just had to go through it. And she said, as I want to flag up, we're not criticising staff at Milton Keynes Hospital. She felt that they dealt with her with great compassion. But she just said that there's this emphasis on physical rather than psychological care. Andrew Cantor would agree with that, and he obviously deals with people from across the three counties, not just Milton Keynes. He experienced something similar when he and his wife lost their baby, Jake. And just like Leanne, their experience made them want to change things.
We were in a hospital environment that had no... what they now call, I think, a home-from-home room or a quiet area you could go. I mean, the worst thing that can happen is if, you know, you hear babies crying and you hear mothers in labour, you know, it has a huge psychological effect Yes, I mean, I genuinely believe that every maternity unit should have an area like this, and there should be a national strategy that puts this in place. But unfortunately, we don't have that.
I was hoping Milton Keynes Hospital would come on today because the staff, but they're not even being criticised really, are they? The staff have been praised by Leanne, and it's just the setup that's the way a lot of hospitals are. But they're not. They've not come on, which is a shame.
No, but we did speak to their fundraising manager for the Milton Keynes Hospital charity that Leanne is contributing towards. Vanessa Holmes couldn't join us either, but she said that fundraising helps us to go over and above for patients at Milton Keynes Hospital. Leanne really is an inspiration, and we're grateful for her support of Milton Keynes Hospital charity. It'll make a huge difference to those parents who need to use our butterfly suite.
And if people want to give...
It's justgiving.com/babieswithwingsmk. That's all one word. That's justgiving.com/babieswithwingsmk. But you can also text your donation. Hugs 04.
04.
Yes.
Yes.
Hugs 04 to 770, and that will donate £4 to the cause. But Leanne said you can change that number at the end of Hugs to whatever you want to donate. She's not asking for a specific amount.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's one of those shows where the subjects kind of clank and grind and perhaps sit a little uncomfortably, but that's just the way it works out. We've gone from that to talking about when have you self-treated yourself. Doesn't it all seem rather trivial now? But I shut my finger in the car door last night, flipping hurt. Oh, it smarted. But it hurt so much I didn't swear or say anything. I just went, oh.
See, this is the thing, right? Horror movies which have you believe that everyone shouts and hollers.
Yeah.
Do you remember that time you really frightened me in the dark?
Which one?
The one where you were standing behind the front door as I walked in.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Turn around to put the light on, there's this looming figure.
Hi.
Do you know what noise I made?
Yeah?
Yeah. That's the real
That was the noise
of
from your
terror.
mouth?
That's the noise of terror.
Yeah. So I'm being a tough guy about it, but I'm the thing is, I don't think the nail is damaged enough for it to fall off, which is a problem, because I'd like it to fall off.
No, you don't want
It's great when a nail falls off. It really is out of this world. So from that, we've got to talk about when have you self-treated yourself? When have you done... And loads of people have done medical procedures on... Removing of the teeth is the main thing. Someone has done it with some cotton and a door and a slam bang.
A man in St Albans might do it today.
Yeah, we're hoping we're going to get him live on the radio to pull it out.
What was that fella saying before the news?
He burst his own piles. Now, speaking as someone who has suffered from the severe debilitating condition of piles, why would you want to... Even the doctors don't burst them unless they really have to. They band them.
Ooh.
They wrap in a... This is horrible, right? Oh, enjoy your breakfast, guys. Enjoy your beans. They... The people who hate me are going to hate me even more now. The people who like me might start hating me.
I think it's quite a common condition, and we need to... I was going to say explode the myth, but you know what I mean.
We need to get our hands on it. No, we need to study it intently. We need to look into it.
Get to the bottom of it.
They put an elastic band around it so it kills it and dies.
Like
now,
a lamb's tail.
When you go and do it like a lamb's tail, they dock it. Now, when you go and have this done, you are lying on the table.
They use loom bands.
Pretty much, yeah. They've got a machine that kind of fires them off. You can have them frozen as well. But when you're doing it, so I had this done, okay. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I'm not proud. Well, I wasn't. You're lying on the table. You don't take your trousers off completely. They're just beneath your knees, right? So it's really undignified.
Yeah,
You haven't got the dignity of taking your trousers. So if your mum walked in, it would be you'd have to hop over. Anyway, so you're lying on the table, right, with everything out. And the fella's putting his gloves on. He's not even a doctor, this fella. He's just a bloke.
Is he a porter?
I don't know what he was. And then 3 young people walk in. Do you mind if some students watch? Oh, thanks a lot for asking me while I'm in this position. Yeah, actually I do. But they're here now, so yeah, go and have a look at the bloke who used to be on the telly's bum.
I was going to say, you normally play to a student audience.
So that was...
that happened.
That happened.
Obviously you're fine with it.
Man alive, it is, if anyone says having your piles removed doesn't hurt, they're lying. Oi, and then I had an anal fissure. That's a different story.
Okay, right, we don't want to go there.
You don't want to go there.
Where are we going?
I don't know. Your other thing... Oh, man, we're going to get so many complaints.
What
Sorry, Jan, you're going to get complaints today. There's nothing we can do about it.
Why? What have you stuck your finger in?
Exactly, you see? 08459 455 555 is the telephone number, should you wish to give us a call on that. And also, if you want to delete your U2 album... then you can. I can't delete it because I don't know what my iTunes login is. I'm stuck with Bono forever.
Like the Edge?
Trademark. 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Southbound is easing off a bit now, just after junction 13 for Salford Road. There was a broken down vehicle there, but it's now been removed. The M1 southbound heavy between junction 12 at Flitwick and junction 11 for Dunstable. And the A1M on the speed sensors looking heavy between junction 8 for Stevenage and junction 7. The M25 heading anti-clockwise, very slow, just between junction 21, the M1, and junction 16 for the M40. The M40 itself is queuing on camera, and that's heading northbound from the Denham roundabout to the M25, and services suspended at the moment on Greater Anglia between Enfield Town and Liverpool Street and Cheshunt and Liverpool Street. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much. 8:15. It is Wednesday, the 17th of September. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A Hertfordshire couple who started a maternity support charity says the NHS needs to do more for the parents of stillborn children. They're backing the fundraising efforts of a Milton Keynes mum. Police in Bedford say the life sentences handed down to 4 young men for murdering teenager Isaac Stone are a stark reminder of the dangers of carrying knives. And in sport, there were wins last night for Watford and Wycombe, a draw for Luton, and defeats for MK Dons and Stevenage.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The Scottish referendum across the BBC. As Scotland decides, the future of the United Kingdom is about to be revealed. Will Scotland vote for independence or to stay part of the Union?
The arguments have been raging amongst politicians, families and friends.
And how will the outcome affect you?
The real crux of the matter is what of the future, our children's future?
Scotland Decides, live from Scotland, tomorrow night at 10:35 on BBC One and BBC One HD.
Well, David, you've accused me of using phrases that I think are unacceptable on the BBC.
Yeah.
Luckily, yours was said off microphone.
Well, exactly. And if you listen very carefully, you can hear Lord Reith not only turning in his grave, but charging up the M1.
There we go, you see. Bolton the doors, Mr. Hall is on his way. David's sitting in for JVS all this week while he looks after a dog.
He is looking after a dog.
Yeah,
it's dog sitting. It's paternity leave.
It's
ludicrous.
It's a scam, is what I think it is. What's on the show today?
We're going to talk about domestic violence today. 1 in 3, I can't believe this, 1 in 3 women have suffered domestic violence. How can that be? I don't understand this at all. And 35% of women keep it a secret from their friends and family. Violence, emotional abuse in the home. But it's okay, isn't it? Because it's domestic. So when we talk about things being domestic, that's all right, because it's all nice and okay. We need to change the labels on this, and I want to hear your stories. At 9 this morning, has domestic violence affected you or your family? 08459 455 555.
On FM, AM, online and digital radio.
This is Iain Lee.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
Right, that's the phone number to give us a call as well, of course, if you want. 08459 455 555. Now, 4 men have been jailed for the brutal murder of Isaac Stone in Bedford. The teenage rapper died in Costin Street in January after, get this, mocking his killers on YouTube. Wow. They attacked him with knives and meat cleavers and killed him. Joining me now is Jan Madden, the director of the Hemel-based knife crime charities Billy Wish. Morning, Jan.
Good morning, Ian.
What do you think about this case? It's incredible, isn't it?
It's quite horrific, isn't it? And I've been reading up on the history of the case. I'm quite shocked to see that 2 of the defendants actually must have only just come out of prison, because they'd been given 3-year sentences in June 2012. It's just unbelievable. These people get straight back on the streets.
They're kids, 22, 19, 21 and 20. I mean, that's legally right. They're kids. It's kids killing kids.
I know. It's just absolutely dreadful.
They bought there's always calls, aren't there, after things like this for tougher rules on knives. They bought these knives for £3 from a hardware store. So you can't police the selling of knives, can you?
That's a really difficult question, isn't it? Where do you draw the line? And there were meat cleavers as well, I believe, 2 of them. Who would think that somebody would just walk into a hardware store and buy meat cleavers and then use them 10 minutes later to kill somebody? You can't say that wasn't premeditated, can you?
No. I mean, and how would you... There's no way of policing it, because, hey, guess what? I've got a meat cleaver at home. I've got some really sharp knives, and you can't say, well, we can only sell them if you've got a note from your mum. You know, it's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, they're just as capable of taking one out of the kitchen drawer, so, you know, that wouldn't control it, would it?
They've been... Are you satisfied with the sentences that they've got?
I'm never satisfied with the sentences, Ian. For the listeners that don't know, Billy Dove's Murderer, that's the charity that we set up. I work with Billy Dove's family, a young lad in Hemel Hempstead, and his murderer only got 14 years. You know, what can you do? He was only 17 as well. All we can do is try and educate young people about the dangers, and that's why Billy's Wish was set up. We educate children all across Hertfordshire, Dacorum, and we're spreading out across Hertfordshire now.
Well, this is we've spoken about this charity several times. Yeah. I know that Justin Dealey has taken a real personal interest in this, and has been in touch lots.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time that we spoke about it, but things are really starting to grow apace with this, weren't they? Where are we now with this?
Yeah, they are. We launched, we actually released the films. It's a series of films that are taught to both primary and secondary schools. So there's a film that's specifically aimed at Year 6 pupils. And
what's Year 6? Is that 10?
Year 6 is the top end of primary school, yes,
so
10 and 11-year-olds.
Right.
No mention of knives in that one at all. It's all about if you see somebody who's going to, you know someone's going to do something, or you're being bullied or whatever, who do you go to, who do you talk to, who's your safe adult? Then in years 7 and 8, so that's the first and second year of secondary school, so sort of 11 to 13, 14-year-olds, we talk, they get progressively more hard-hitting, and that's very much about knife crime and gang culture and just weapons in general. And
do these things work? Because part of me thinks that the people who are going to get the message will be the people that were probably never going to get involved in knife crime anyway. And the bad boys and girls, you know, that are probably going to sit there just laughing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can understand that view, but it's not just about educating the people who are likely to do it. It's about the young people who think that they can carry a knife. They should carry a knife for protection. Yeah. Because most knife crimes when a young person gets injured by a knife, it's very often their own knife, and they've taken it out to look after themselves, to keep themselves safe, and that couldn't be further from the truth. If you carry a knife, you're so much more likely to get injured yourself. But it's also about awareness. You know, we talk about if you know somebody's carrying a knife, what would you do about it? Where do you go? How do you report it anonymously? Where can you turn to? Who do you speak to? And we give young people a way out. We give people an opportunity to report those things without anybody knowing it was them that did it, which is great, you know. So we promote Fearless, which is the junior arm of Crime Stoppers, of course, who've is it their 30th anniversary this week or something?
Gosh. It turns out I'm really old. I remember that starting, blimey.
I know. I think it was Crime. So there was a programme last night on television. So we promote Fearless and work very closely with Fearless, actually, and, of course, the Benkin Seller Trust. And what we're trying to do is to build that understanding in young people about the dangers. So it's not just aimed at the ones that are likely to get to actually go out and injure somebody. It's about the ones that are naive enough to think that if they carry a knife, they're safer themselves. And it's growing. We started in Dacorum a year ago, and the Police and Crime Commissioner has given us funding to roll out across the whole of Hertfordshire, because Chief Inspector Mike Price, who's works in community safety across the county, is really adamant that it's such a good system. It should be taught across the whole county and beyond. We're talking to people in London and Buckinghamshire and Bedfordshire as well. So it's spreading. It is spreading.
Well, good for you, Jan. If people want to find out more about Billy's Wish, I'm assuming there is a website. Where would they go?
We have a website. Just Google us, Billy's Wish, or it's www.billyswish.co.uk, and all our details are on there. And we'd love to hear from you. We've also got got a Facebook page, just Billy's Wish.
Hey, Joan, wouldn't it be great if one day you could close it all down? You didn't need to do it. Wouldn't that be fantastic?
Wouldn't it be lovely?
Yeah.
And then we could all go and do something else.
Yeah. Joan, nice to talk to you. Keep up the
And
good work.
Iain, thank you
very
so
much.
much.
Cheers.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Earlier on, we spoke to Leanne, who lost a baby very late on in the pregnancy and is raising money to have a room soundproofed at the maternity unit at Milton Keynes Hospital. I think we've got some texts, have we, Catherine?
We have, yeah. One from Janet here in Cheshunt says, in reference to the sad story of the mother and her stillborn baby, I'd like to say there is a different way to handle this. 25 years ago, when I started having my children at Maidstone General, all cases where pregnancy had gone wrong was handled on the general surgery ward, so these poor mothers were never anywhere near the maternity unit. There's also this, and this is from Jot in Bedford. I think a soundproof room should be standard for a woman who suffered the loss of a child. The public shouldn't have to fundraise. There should be a separate unit altogether. After being told I had a 10% chance of conceiving naturally, I was devastated that I became seriously ill with an ectopic pregnancy, which urgently needed removing. I needed numerous scans, which I was taken to the maternity unit to sit and wait for a prolonged period with lots of expectant mothers. It was like rubbing salt in the wound and did nothing to ease my distress. The NHS need to think about the psychological effects this has and provide suitable premises at their expense, not ours.
Thank you very much.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
We're asking one of you self-treat yourself, and there's a story I'm frantically trying to find.
There's some horrible stories on the text.
Oh, go on, let's do a couple of those while I try and find
Bob,
this.
I have to pull off my big toenails every few years. They're ingrown and removed by a doctor originally 12 years ago, but now they grow wonky.
How does he do it, though? That's pliers.
Yeah, probably.
That's
It's a pliers job.
I squeeze my own blisters.
Oh, yeah, everyone does
Love squeeze. I've squeezed other people's blisters as well. I love it.
I like a splinter.
Oh, I love it. My boy got a splinter yesterday. I was so excited. He wouldn't let me get it out.
Oh, they do get queasy and silly about it, don't they?
Kids.
Give it here.
Kids.
Monica from Bedford, I once shut my car boot on my finger. Oh, this is what if you stuck your finger in. And
No, it's whenever you shut your finger in a car.
Door. But this isn't a car door.
It counts as a door. 5 doors.
Okay, well, listen. She got her finger stuck. Let's not quibble.
No, she didn't. She shut her finger in a car door. She didn't get her finger stuck in anything. Anyway, so she got her finger stuck in a car door. Tell us more. Oh, I'm a poet and I never realised.
Couldn't pull it out till I opened the boot again. 3 months it took for my nail to come out. I didn't say a thing when it happened. Too much of a shock. Monica of Bedford.
Oh, I'm trying to find this. There's a brilliant story in one of the... Sorry?
Dave Luton. I don't think it's the Dave Luton. It's a different number.
Dave who?
Dave Luton.
Nothing.
Morning, guys. I had 2 lovely female students.
It's written in English.
Watch me have a camera down my... to look at my prostate. First they freeze it with some gel in a syringe, and it's the most horrible, uncomfortable feeling, and when you have 2 students watching, it wasn't any better. I've got a new phone in. What have you done in front of students?
What haven't I done in front of students? Hey?
What story are you looking for?
I'm looking for the story. OK, so we're talking about one of you self-treat yourself. There's a story about a goldfish that had a 40-minute operation on it to remove a brain tumour.
Oh, my mum treated a goldfish once.
Well, you know you can give goldfish is the kiss of life.
She didn't do that. She got
George the goldfish had brain surgery
Go on.
to give him another 20 years of life.
It's a goldfish. They cost £1.29.
Unless you win it at the fair.
In which case they cost about 12 quid.
You shouldn't be doing.
Oh, come on, guys.
He's special because he's just undergone surgery to remove a tumour from his brain.
The tuna is massive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's almost bigger than the fish.
But so so the fish is on the operating table in the veterinarian surgery. And boy, why is the word veterinarian and veteran, why are they so similar yet they mean such different things? How have they kept him alive?
I haven't read that far.
They probably they did that thing like they do to Free Willy.
Where?
There's George.
Oh, what?
And so they keep sort of hosing them and wet towels.
It's a goldfish. I couldn't keep a goldfish alive in a goldfish bowl for a week. How have they kept it alive on a table?
My mum took our goldfish to the vets and they laughed her out.
Of course they did. It's a goldfish. No one cares.
That's why she ended up doing a Dr. Kildare on it on the kitchen table.
What did she reanimate it?
It had worms or something embedded in its side.
Yeah, they do.
And she whipped him out with some tweezers.
And did it live?
Not for very long.
They kept him alive in a bucket. Like you take to the
Have you seen the picture of it, though? It's on the table.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. George, who is otherwise a normal goldfish, was said to be really suffering and was unable to swim and eat properly due to a large tumour hanging
Did they give it a general or a local? That's anaesthetic.
His eyes are open.
I don't think fish can close their eyes, can they?
He could either be put to sleep or they could attempt...
Or flush down the toilet. You don't put a fish to sleep. You hit it with a mallet.
Whoa.
His owner was said to be rather attached to him, and £111 for the surgery.
What?
Oh, that's good. 111.
Yeah.
Nice.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off in Roxton on the Great North Road, that's looking rather heavy moving heading southbound at the Black Cat roundabout. Taking a look at the M1, rather heavy between junction 12 for Flitwick and junction 11 for Dunstable. Having a look at the M25 on the speed sensors, very heavy heading anti-clockwise between junction 21 for the M1 and junction 16 the M40. The A414 rather heavy moving just around the Park Street roundabout, and it's queuing on camera on the M40 at the moment heading northbound from the Denham roundabout to the M25, and at the moment on the train, services suspended on Greater Anglia between Enfield Town and Liverpool Street and Cheshunt and Liverpool Street. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8:30. I'm Simon Oxley. Police investigating the murders of 2 British holidaymakers in Thailand say they now consider 2 men from the UK as possible suspects. Police in Bedford say the life sentences handed down to 4 young men for murdering teenager Isaac Stone are a stark reminder of the dangers of carrying knives. A Hertfordshire couple say the NHS needs to do more for parents of stillborn children. They're backing a Milton Keynes mother who's raising money for a soundproof room at the New Cities Hospital. And on the eve of the Scottish referendum, both sides have embarked on their last day of campaigning. Several new opinion polls give the no side a narrow lead.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Watford are back up to second in the Championship after a second-half penalty from Matej Vidra gave them a 1-0 win at Blackpool. Here's assistant coach Ruben Martinez standing in for the ill Oscar Garcia.
We scored from penalty and they missed one in the last 10 minutes. And we want to give this victory for Oscar because we want that he stay with us as soon as possible.
In League One, Milton Keynes Dons lost 2-1 at home to Bradford, with manager Carl Robinson sent to the stands in the second half.
The first 15 minutes is their fault. I thought we was for the 5-minute period we were sloppy. A set piece which we pride ourselves on where someone didn't do his job. But second half I got it wrong. It's my fault today. I narrowed the game off, and I shouldn't have narrowed the game off. I should have given more width to the game, and I never. And I got it massively wrong. So I have to take responsibility for that.
In League Two, Luton drew 0-0 at York. Here's manager John Still.
We don't need a goal scorer because we had about 4 people that could have scored tonight. So it isn't actually, a forward that scores a goal. It's people that get in goal-scoring positions. I thought people should have taken their chances. And we didn't. We've played terrific, but we do have to take our chances, no doubt about that.
Wickham are up to third in League Two after a Paul Hayes goal gave Gareth Ainsworth's side a 1-0 victory at Plymouth.
This will go a long way in adding to our points total, It's fantastic to see the set play going in, but the way we defended again, I thought we limited Plymouth. They had a couple of shots, but nothing major. I think we hit the post in the first half and set play's gone in, and we could have grabbed one in the second half on the break, so really pleasing.
And Stevenage lost 2-1 at Bury despite taking an early lead through Adam Marriott. Liverpool made a winning return to the Champions League as a stoppage-time penalty from Steven Gerrard gave them a 2-1 win over the Bulgarian side Ludogorets. Arsenal lost 2-0 away to Dortmund. Tonight Manchester City are away to Bayern Munich. Chelsea host another German side at Schalke. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 9.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning. Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. It really is a very busy show. We've had some very intense and slightly heavy things on the show this morning. We've also had a load of old guff as well. What have we been asking? What have you...
Okay, what have you stuck your finger in?
Let's go through these in order of importance. When have you shut your finger in a car?
Too specific. What have you stuck your finger in?
No, I said in order of importance. When have you shut your finger in a car? When have you self-trepped yourself? We're going to get some word from Justin on that shortly. What was your one about fingers in things?
What have you stuck your finger in?
Yeah.
And what have you done in front of students?
Oh.
Got one on that. That's taking off now. That's the word on the street that's going round.
Well, speaking of taking off in front of students, have you seen this? There's a rather marvellous tweet which I will have to censor ever so slightly. Oh, come on, slow BBC computer. Hang on a second. 08459 455 555, by the way. Johnny says, I used to be a student nurse.
Oh, yeah.
The best one was a guy who was experimenting with a pressurised can. He blew his bum off, literally.
Don't abuse aerosols. Jan writes, I had my waters broken. Very dangerous gases involved.
Wow! You did it! You said it!
Janet says, I had my waters broken in front of 12 male medical students.
Oh,
12, really?
Gosh.
Felt like something out of All Creatures Great and Small.
Yeah.
Must be a slow day on the maternity ward when all 12 have to go into one.
I told you when we were having our first, and my wife was in. Hey, guess what? A lot of pain. Forget the natural. We've got the room booked for you in the natural. I want drugs! And the anaesthetist came in to do the epidural.
Oh, I had one of those. I felt my spine squeak.
I've had, what do they call them in England? A lumbar puncture. So, girls, I'm with you on this. I've had a spinal tap. I know what it's like.
But then what happened to you after that?
But then I had, well...
Did everything fall out?
No, but I tell you, no, it was actually worse.
Not comparable then?
No, it is comparable, mate. A lumbar puncture, spinal tap for my American friends, is worse than an epidural. Because they are taking fluid out of your spine. So for the next few days...
But they're not taking a person out of you, are they?
That's fine.
I think I still win.
No, I don't think you do, because for the next 6, let's say, week, I couldn't move. I had to lie flat because the disturbance of the spinal fluid made me feel very, very unwell.
Oh, you felt poorly.
You had a baby.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
A whole person fell out of me.
Anyway. Yeah. So anyway, so
Well,
the anaesthetist comes in. Second one does. The anaesthetist comes in. My wife's in a lot of pain. He looks at her. He says, right, I'll be back in a minute. He comes back 15 minutes later, right? And as he's putting the injection in, he said, yeah, sorry, I just had to go and mention on Facebook that I'm giving an epidural to a famous person's wife.
Oh!
Yeah, and both me and my wife went, oh, great. Could you hurry up and do this, please, you massive plum?
I have a friend who's a newsreader. She had her legs in stirrups.
Ooh.
Someone recognised her.
Well, in an autograph. Could you sign this?
Have I seen you on the telly? No, not this end. Can we not talk about this now?
Myrtle's in Bedford. Good morning, Myrtle.
Good morning.
What have you got your finger stuck in?
My daughter had a heavy plastic horse, and it broke in two, and there was a hole that was not punctured out, so I poked my finger in it.
Yeah.
Couldn't get it out. Anyway, I used a bottle of olive oil, went round to my neighbour.
Yeah, with the half a horse stuck on your finger.
Yeah. She phoned the fire service for a little man in a little van to come and take it out. There was 2 fire engines, the police, the press. I have never, ever been so embarrassed in all my life. They lifted me up, sat me on the sink. Oh, man alive. Then I had to go down to the hospital because they couldn't get it all off. And the foreign doctor said, why have you got your finger stuck up a horse's, you know what? I have never, ever, ever forgotten that.
I'd like to ask the same question that the doctor asked. Why did you stick your finger up a horse's bum-bum?
Well, because I wanted to get... it wasn't that end. I wanted to get this... It's like when you do a piece of paper and you put a hole in it and it doesn't come clear.
You wanted to feel what it felt like?
No.
Is it still there?
No, it's not still there.
Myrtle, I've got a question.
Yes.
Buckaroo? Was it a buckaroo?
I don't know what it was. It just came in half, and she was screaming, and it was.
She was screaming?
Yeah.
Well, what about you?
Yeah. Well, there you go.
When you say the fireman put you on the draining board, are you tiny? How tall are you?
5 foot and a half inch.
That half inch is very important.
That is. That is.
Myrtle.
All I saw was their shiny boots. I didn't look at them. I was so embarrassed.
I just don't know what to say, Myrtle.
I'm awful. I'm always getting my fingers stuck in a steering wheel, and terrible I am. I don't know what's wrong with my fingers.
Myrtle, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Just keep your fingers to yourself, or
Yes,
maybe
I
not.
will. I will.
Thank you very much. Ta-ta.
Poor Myrtle.
Myrtle has lived a life, hasn't she?
She's my favourite.
She is. Let's put that in the podcast. Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
We've got a message here from Helen in Milton Keynes.
Yeah, go on.
Please clarify the phrase self-treat yourself. Do you mean self-treatment? If so, the word yourself is superfluous.
No, when have you self-treat yourself?
What's your beef, Helen?
What's your beef? Now, we sent... What is this? We sent Justin out earlier on, didn't we, to ask people when they've self-treated themselves. Got some great... You all right? You all right, Kath?
Yeah.
What's your beef?
I haven't got any beef.
We've had some really great some great feedback on that on the streets. Justin took it to the streets. Well, he met a gentleman whose tooth was about to possibly come out in the next day or two.
He said he only had one left. He's taken 8 out. And
Taken 8 out. Well, we sent Justin to go and see if we could find this gentleman again, and if he would do it live on air. I have no idea what happens in this. Let's find out together.
So, Stuart, we've come back to have another word with you. You told us earlier on that you pulled out 8 teeth. You need to pull another one out. It's quite wonky.
Yeah.
The guys in the studio were asking whether you might do it for us on air today, but you're telling me to come back on Saturday.
I reckon it'll be loose enough then, yeah.
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 Be less painful for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. OK, so if I come back on Saturday, we're not pushing you into
No.
anything. You're quite happy for us to record you pulling out one of your teeth?
Yep.
OK.
Certainly.
And
I'll donate it to charity, if you like.
Donate it to charity. And just lastly, you've got another self-treatment story. I mean, you couldn't make this one up. You had a vasectomy, and instead of going back to the hospital, you took the stitches out yourself.
Yeah, it's only 2. It's only 2 little ones. But rather than go all the way back down to Richmond, where I had it done, I took them out myself.
Describe the pain.
Well, it wasn't none. It's just, you only lift them up, cut it, pull them out.
That's the
vasectomy. Like, it didn't
Are you mad, yes or no?
Slightly, yeah.
I'll see you back here on Saturday then.
Right,
all right, thank you very much indeed.
And I'll hold on to the tooth for you.
Taking it to the streets with J-Dog.
That gentleman, Stuart, was describing the vasectomy procedure. They take it out, lift it up and cut it off. So it works, isn't it? What an unpleasant life that man
cut
is.
it off.
No, but
They just make a modification.
They make a wee modification.
If anyone's waiting to have their procedure done, don't worry, it's not quite that drastic.
Here's the thing, guys. Why would anyone get a vasectomy?
Oh.
Why would anyone do that?
My mate's husband did it on his birthday.
Yeah, get some condoms or stop having it away. Grown up talk, guys. We're having grown up talk now. Sorry, kids. This is for grown ups.
I think it's a great gift for a man to do that.
It's the gift that literally doesn't keep on giving.
I think it is.
Don't always work. There's still part of your head will be thinking, ooh.
Why would it be thinking that?
Oh, blimey. I hope that worked. Or didn't. Because there'd still be that element of, oh yeah.
You can have it redone as well.
You can have it joined up.
Yeah.
You know that you can go, because before you used to have to go into hospital for 2 or 3 days, right? Now you can go in and they can do it in 20 minutes. There's video footage of it on YouTube. They just do a little they burn it.
Bob's your uncle.
Or
Fanny's your aunt.
But he won't be a great uncle.
No, exactly. I think it's an awful thing to do.
I think it's a beautiful thing.
Oh, what? Having a bit of your winkle messed around with?
Listen, we mess around with our hormones for you, men.
If there was a male pill, I'd take it. Totes take it. So I don't know what you're whinging about. There isn't, so I can't, but that's your problem. Deal with it.
Well, thanks for thinking about it.
No worries. Let's go to Paul from Bedford. Paul?
Hi, Ian.
Would you ever get a vasectomy?
Would I ever?
Yeah.
Nah, it's pain.
It's pain, isn't it?
Yeah.
It seems like a really... Do you know what? Having a vasectomy, it's a really selfish thing to do. It is, isn't it? It's a selfish thing to do because you are denying any future women the chance of having your child.
Absolutely, the opportunity, yeah.
Yeah, 08459 455 555. Is there anything more selfish than a vasectomy?
That's what you tell your wife. Sorry, I can't have a vasectomy in case there are future women that need to bear my offspring.
Paul, you've not called in to hear this feminist nonsense. What have you got for us?
4 fingers in a door.
Whoa!
Car door. No, 4 fingers.
That's careless.
I like the way he reiterated it, just in case we misheard.
Are they all on the same hand?
I hope so, at the same time,
What happened, Paul?
Long story, but somebody got out the back of the car. I was in the front of the car with my door open.
Yeah.
I had to grab something, then shut the door from the inside.
Yeah.
But had my hand round the upright, so I shot on my 4 fingers.
Oh, no.
The other downside was the child locks were on, so I couldn't open it, so I then had to shout for somebody to come and open the door.
So hang on a second. Was your because I think this could be the most painful experience we've had so far. Was your were your fingers shut in the bit that opens, or the bit kind of by the hinge, if that makes sense?
Nearer the hinge. So
that's the painful bit. That's where the pressure is.
Yeah.
And did your fingernails fall off?
No, because it wasn't my ends of my fingers. I had my hand properly round the upright.
Oh, mate.
So it was actually across the proper fingers.
What, right across
Did your proper fingers fall off?
Fingers, yeah.
Did your fingers hurt, mate?
Which knuckle are we up to? First or second?
My fingers hurt, yes, and it was all for 4 fingers.
Oh, yeah. Paul, listen, thank you very much indeed. That's where the pressure is. You forget me, I'm a lightweight, Paul. I bow to your finger pain. I'm a lightweight. I got it stuck in the bit where the handle is. He got it stuck to the other end.
Which will hurt to open it as well.
Yeah. And the child lock was on. He had to call. Excuse me, could you open the door for me, please? Oh dear, Paul.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M1 heading southbound, very heavy and moving at the moment, just around junction 13 for Bedford. The A1M also quite heavy moving just at junction 8 for Stevenage. And the A41 heading southbound on the sensors looking rather heavy between the Hemel Hempstead turnoff and junction 20 for the M25. The M25 itself rather heavy anti-clockwise between junction 20 at Kings Langley and junction 16 for the M40. The M40 is also queuing on camera. That's heading northbound from the Denham roundabout to the M25. And on the trains, there's disruption on Greater Anglia between Enfield Town and Liverpool Street and Cheshunt and Liverpool Street. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Nicola, thank you very much indeed. 8:46, it's Wednesday the 17th of September. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Police investigating the murders of 2 British holidaymakers in Thailand say they now consider 2 men from the UK as possible suspects. A Hertfordshire couple who started a maternity support charity says the NHS needs to do more for parents of stillborn children. They're backing the fundraising efforts of a Milton Keynes mother. And in sport, there were wins last night for Watford and Wickham, a draw for Luton, and defeats for MK Dons and Stevenage. Let's get the weather. Here's Kate.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A rather dull start to the day. There's a bit of mist out there too, but it is gradually lifting. The cloud not quite out of the way just yet, but through the course of the morning it will start to burn back, and by the afternoon plenty of sunny spells. It's going to feel warm as well as dry, and the temperature's getting up to around 22, maybe even 23 Celsius in the sunshine later. Really nice evening as well. Overnight it's a repeat performance of the last few. We'll see the cloud moving back in from the east and a bit of mist developing, particularly in lower ground, and also the minimum temperature down to 14 Celsius. So a misty and murky start for Thursday. Again, a similar start. Difference being that the mist, the fog and the cloud will start to burn back a little more quickly tomorrow morning. So we'll get some sunshine through the mid-morning onwards, and then through the afternoon it's going to feel really warm tomorrow as well, 22 Celsius. With this increased heat also comes increased humidity, so feeling quite sticky as well. And overnight Thursday into Friday, our risk of maybe a thundery downpour increases, and that risk continues into Friday. And that's your forecast.
Thank you very much. Sports.
Three Counties Sport isn't just about hearing your team in action.
Feels a famous victory here! What drama we've had!
It's about the managers.
You've got to make the most of your openings, and we perhaps haven't done that, and haven't done it so far this season, if I'm honest.
The players.
We know we need to be better. We're not being complacent. We'll find a solution that will get us playing how we was last season and how the fans expect us to be playing.
And the fans.
I'm getting seriously concerned we could end up back where we started.
Every day, we bring you latest news on your local team.
Wycombe Wanderers remain 5th in League 2 after a 0-0 draw with Bury. Stevenage lost 3-2 at home against York.
Three Counties Sport, keeping you up to date with Luton, Watford, MK Dons, Stevenage and Wickham every day of the week on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Kelly Betts is there. Catherine Boyle is there. It's really an unpleasant phone-in we're having, but these are adult issues.
And people love it.
That need to be dealt with. When have you self-treated yourself? And if we've got 10 minutes if you want to call in. I think having a vasectomy is the most selfish thing a man can do.
And I think it's the most beautiful gift a man can give.
No, it's not. Flowers or milk tray. Isn't it? I've been getting it wrong all these years.
Steve in Bedford's had one. But he's also shot his fingers in the car door whilst having an argument with his ex. He said, I've had the snip too. Well, it wasn't painful at all, and I did enjoy the tablet they told me to take before I turned up.
What tablet was that?
I bet you get a sticker after as well. I've been brave today.
I've been a brave boy, and I've had a bit of my winky burnt off. They do it, they burn it. Danny's in Bedford. Good morning, Danny.
Good morning, Ian. I thought I'd leave this story till a bit later, because it's a bit gruesome.
It's for adults only?
No, it's just if you was eating your breakfast, it might make you splutter a little.
Does it involve sausages?
No, it involves kicking a door frame and breaking my little toe in half.
Away you go, fella.
I got up to go to the kitchen one evening and I kicked the door frame. And I broke my little toe actually in half. It was sticking out at a right angle.
Oh, blimey.
Hopping about in the dark, loads of expletives, as you can imagine.
Oh, yeah, you sound the sort, yes.
My loving partner said to me, "What have you done there, you clumsy oaf?"
Yes.
So I hopped into the living room and showed her my toe, to which she put her hand over her mouth and run to the loo. And I said, "No, it's all right, babe, it's all right, babe, I'll set it myself." And I grabbed hold of my toe, pulled it, straightened it, and then let it go. And it went, ta-da! And she just said, "You're sick, you need help." The next morning, I wasn't so brave. I woke up, it was black, blue. Yeah. I went over to the hospital, they x-rayed it, and they said, "Oh, who set this for you?" And I went, "I did." She went, "Oh, it's not bad. What I'll do is I'll re-break it, reset it." I went, "Hold on a minute." "No, leave it." And that was it.
You've left it like that?
Yeah, I weren't having to break it again. I was in so much pain. The bravado was gone by then.
Yeah, exactly. The night before, you're a tough guy. In the cold light of day, Danny, you're a whimpering child.
Oh,
does it still look funny now?
Not really. It aches a little bit when it gets cold, and recently I've just kicked it again on the door frame, and had to go back over the hospital because I'd lifted my little toenail up.
Oh, Danny! Can
Yes, I wear steel toe caps indoors.
You either get a bigger door frame or you get that toe amputated. Danny, thank you very much for sharing that. I think I mean that.
What year is this?
The thing is, you break your little toe like maybe 100 times a year. I've made that figure up, but we break our little toes almost every day.
It's pretty useless anyway, isn't it?
How many toes would you have to lose?
Before you fell over?
Before it really affected your balance.
I think you need your big toe, don't you, for that?
The big toe's the one that centres you, isn't it?
Yeah. I reckon if you lost 3, you'd be over.
Okay. Steve's in Redbourne. Morning, Steve.
Morning, mate. That was a good one, that wasn't it?
That was horrible. That was horrible.
Yeah, you're on about fingers in funny places. Well, I've got 2 stories. Our vet come when I was a little boy. A vet come to give one of our little dogs an internal, and he was having to feel round.
What? Okay, yes.
And he's having to feel around. And when he pulled his finger out, I said, "Cool, better stop you biting your nails, didn't it?" and then we was had a mare in a bit of trouble, and we was having to turn the bowl, and we had one of my little nieces there, and I had my arm in, having to feel round, like, moving it.
Yeah.
And I pulled my arm out, and she looked, she said, "Oh," she said, "do they do that in hospital when Mum's going to have her baby?"
Ladies and gentlemen.
Actually, yes, something very similar.
It's very similar indeed. Tony's in Edgware. Morning, Tony.
Good morning, Ian. How are you?
Do you know what, Tony? Despite the fact, I don't know if you know this, I've really hurt my finger quite badly, but I am being very, very brave about it. So apart from the fact that my finger is in agony, it's my button-pushing finger, my fader operating finger. Despite that, Tony, I'm all right, thanks, mate.
Do you know, I used to watch you on the 11 o'clock show years ago,
You don't sound old enough. You do.
Honestly.
Oh,
and you were absolutely brilliant, you were.
Here we go.
Really funny. Really funny you were.
Yeah.
And then about 6 months ago, I used to listen to Sunrise Radio, you know the Asian station, yeah?
Oh, yeah, the Asian station, yeah.
And then I just flicking through the channels, and I heard you.
Oh.
And then for the last 6 months, I'm hooked.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Hang on
really.
a second. Have Sunrise Radio lost a listener to us?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Tony,
They did,
that's very kind. What? As you're one of our new listeners, do you mind taking our new listener survey?
Yeah, go on.
Let me get a pen. Hang on a second.
Is this a wind-up?
No, this is true. We like to do this with all of our new listeners. So, question one. What do you like about the show?
I think all three of you, even the cute little sounding girl, she sounds very nice as well at the back.
Even the cute little sounding girl who sounds nice at the back, that's definitely Kelly. You think
I like Catherine as well. Catherine's brilliant.
This is on question 2. In order of preference, 1 to 3, who are your favourite members of the team, please?
I think this is a wind-up.
No, this is genuine. We do this with the BBC. We have to do these things.
You are. I think you're very sharp. Very sharp-witted. Very sharp-witted.
Number 2?
Catherine
and Kelly, I'm assuming number 3.
No. Number 3 is Dennis. No, number 3 is Dennis.
Dennis. Where does Kelly come?
Kelly's number 4.
Kelly's number 4. And you've heard, we're not sure whether to keep our daily reporter, Justin Dealey.
Oh, he's brilliant. He's brilliant.
Would you?
And stop picking on him. He's brilliant.
Sorry?
I said stop picking on him. He's brilliant.
Hang on a minute, Tony. I'll send you back to Sunrise in a second. And finally, Tony, what things about the show don't you like? Where could we do better?
Put a music on now and then. And I put music on now and then, little song now and then.
Little song now and then?
Yeah.
Would you like? I tell you what. Well, listen. Your wish is my command. Would you like to have a little song now?
Not now. No, you guys carry on with your fingers, and I'll talk to you later.
Tony, make sure you give us a call again in the future. Nice to talk to you.
It's nice talking to you, Ian.
Thank you, fella. Ta-ta.
Draw some finger texts, is it?
Sorry, my dear.
Finger texts.
Yeah, go on. Let's have some.
Always last.
Oh,
always
Kelly.
Everyone's least favourite.
Yeah, I know. Well, no, normally it's me. Let's be honest.
My mum.
Oh.
Where do we begin?
April says, Ian, I almost always treat my own deep cuts with superglue.
Oh!
That's what superglue was invented for, guys.
No.
The Vietnam War, they invented superglue so that the Vietnam veterans, not veterinarians, you see, could, if they gashed open their arm or something, they just glue it up.
That's not what Rambo done, though.
He stitched it.
Yeah.
April says, I have stitched a knuckle.
Oh, April.
Tough guy. She's Rambo 4.
Nikki from Milton Keynes. I trapped a girl's finger in a night pay window. She was asked to move them, but put them back in just as I pulled the drawer.
Serves her right.
That's kind of what she's saying.
Yeah.
I can beat all of these, says Steve. My daughter, when she was 15, got both hands trapped in the boot of my Audi when she was putting the shopping in the boot. She was on her knees and could not move, but it didn't leave a bruise.
Hang on, what did she get trapped in the boot?
Both of her hands.
So she's like this. You would, if I was there and I had been her partner and I had the keys to the car, I would have driven 100 yards. You would do, wouldn't you? You drive 100 yards. It's like when your wife or whatever or your son is trying to get in the car. They go to open the door and you drive off. I'll stop. And everyone's laughing.
Not got an appendage trapped.
Everyone's laughing. You do it 3 times. On the 4th time, yeah, no, but seriously, no, seriously, come and get in. And you do it like 15 times.
I did that to my taxi driver. I was like, it's just here on the left. Joke, no, it's just a little bit further. And I did it all the way down my road, and then he told me to get out.
I hope you gave him a big tip. Steady. Well, I think we've exhausted the bants and the conversation. No one phoned in to disagree with me that vasectomies are a very, very selfish act.
We've got a text here.
Oh.
Here we go. Here we go. No, it's not from me. It's from Helen. Vasectomy.
Is this Helen in Milton Keynes?
Might be.
Because she has had like 4 or 5 texts read out today.
Her view is still valid.
Well,
her view is still valid.
Does she agree with you or me? Because
let's find out.
No, because you know the rules. You are only allowed 4 texts per show. This is her 5th or indeed her 6th text. Does she agree with me or does she disagree with me that vasectomies are selfish? She disagrees with me, doesn't she? Sorry, Helen.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC 3 Counties Radio.
Starting off on the Great North Road, rather slow moving at the moment, heading southbound, just at the Great Byford bypass. The M1's looking very heavy at the moment, just around junction 13 for Bedford. Also heavy on the M1 between junction 12 at Flitwick and junction 11 for Dunstable Road. And checking on the A41 on the sensors, that's rather heavy, heading southbound between the Hemel Hempstead turnoff and junction 20 for the M25. The M25 itself very heavy at the moment between junction 19 at Watford and junction 16 for the M40. And the M40 itself is queuing on camera heading northbound from the Denham roundabout to the M25. Just checking on the trains, and disruption still on Greater Anglia between Enfield Town and Liverpool Street, also between Cheshunt and Liverpool Street. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Nicola, thank you very much indeed. It looks like we made it once again. That's it, that's your lot. Don't forget, you can get a podcast of last week's best of from iTunes. There'll be a new one out on Friday. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Kelly. Till tomorrow at 6. Ta-ta.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
And thank you, Iain Lee. Good morning at 9, it's the JVS show. I'm David Prever, standing in for Jonathan Vernon Smith. It's the big phone in, and I want to hear from you this morning. Has domestic violence affected you or your family? A new poll